Okay, there they are, all sitting around the table in the top right-hand corner up here. What time of day was it?
Afternoon, right? We had spent our morning dealing with the church. We still had some time left.
You went to the church, or you checked out the market stall, you went to the church, you loitered around the grave site where the person whose eye had been removed and his brain sucked out. I know at one point you had a discussion, so you were thinking about the possibility of exhuming the body, and you've also come up with a few other theories of who to talk to or things that you might kind of follow or clues you might track down in the hopes that you can find out what did it, who did it, and pin it on poor Than DeWint. Alright? Take it away.
Since we're here in this bar, remember that person who was like on the balcony? That mysterious person? Is she or he here?
No. Well, I say that. Originally they were up here on the balcony. You glance up at the balcony and cannot see them, but give me a perception check.
Okay.
Old Tulgar, old pal.
Someone Tulgar, don't blow it.
Okay, here it comes.
20. Oh,
15. Oh! Okay, that's enough. You were looking in the right direction. You glance up at the balcony and shrug to notice that they're not there. But as your eyes kind of fall away from the balcony, you spot the dwarf that you had the rough and tumble with, and actually sitting next to the dwarf in the far corner of the bar on a bar stool seems to be the person that you were just describing.
Okay, I'm gonna to my friends here and go, hey, the dwarf, that person over there, and I'm gonna kind of point in this direction.
Yes, it is a dwarf.
Is it a male or female then?
You can't tell because of the fact that they're wearing a big cloak with a large hood. Basically, you're looking at them from the side, so they're slumped over the bar. There's no real way of telling.
Something seems off with them. Would someone care to investigate?
What do you say something seems off?
The other night, I saw that one just over the balcony watching the dwarf. I think
maybe they're friends.
He has some strange business.
Yes. Or perhaps the proprietor of the bar, the manager, maybe.
You told me to look for things that did not seem in place.
And a person watching their friend isn't in place?
Someone ominously peering over the bar, vanishing. Yes.
They vanished?
Oh.
Maybe.
You don't...
I don't know.
You don't know!
That's one way to say that he left. I don't think that's quite,
Well, did he vanish or did he walk away? Like, that's...
It could have been either. I looked away.
So you're saying there could be some sort of magic afoot?
Most things to me are magical.
I think that's a good point. Yes, for you, I can see why that would be the case.
Simple things.
Most things to me are magical. That's
the simplest things are of
a
a wonder to
life.
Tulgar.
Yeah.
If only.
You're saying I need to...
Should walk up and ask a few questions.
I don't know if that would go over well.
Vanished off the balcony yesterday and...
Well, there's a way you could lead into the conversation.
Okay.
You don't have to just say right out of that. Just ask her, I saw you the other day. Do you own the establishment? Maybe ask her some questions. Or
we could just watch them at the festival if they're there. If they're not there, keep an eye on it.
We could keep an eye on them moving forward, but Kyla, didn't you want to check out the farmhouse, and didn't we also talk about asking the buildings near the stalls?
I suppose so. Mostly the shop across the street there.
Well, let's do that first. I mean, these guys are just sitting there at the moment, right?
They strike me as an odd bunch of tourists, but tourists nonetheless. Not the client's type.
We also are perhaps able to dig up the body in the name of science and investigation, of course.
Yeah, let's not talk about digging up bodies in the middle of a tavern.
Well, it's for the betterment of the entire town. We would not be doing it just for fun. It's for learning.
And magic, apparently. And I'm going to look at Tolgar.
Well, I'm sure you don't mind if you're the one that does it then, not it.
Well, Tolgar, as
Nose goes.
What?
Emlyn.
Sorry, Emlyn. You lose.
We just elected the least fit guy for this.
But yeah, I think talking to the houses would be a prudent first choice.
Yes.
All right. So what exactly do you want to go? So you guys are heading out into the streets?
I think so.
After, yeah, we're going to get food first and then go out, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Emlyn may want to eat light.
Yeah, since he's got some grave robbing to do, apparently. Let me go ahead and scale
Actually,
you
just
that
gonna let
properly.
him do it alone.
Yes.
I love it.
All right. Okay. So whereabouts do you want to go first? Obviously, you're right here at the tavern in the center of town. Where do you guys want to go from there?
To this building right here that might overlook the one north of the carpenter, you said it was?
Well, the one that is the carpenter first.
Well, I mean, if it
They have
was...
mostly windows on that side.
Okay.
Be more like this.
Okay, let's do that.
So the you notice that this building right here was a carpenter's shop. So you want to go there first.
Yeah.
All right. Fine. To the carpenters you shall go.
I don't happen to have a larger cart.
All right. There you go. The door of the carpentry shop is open. There are 3 chairs sitting outside. They all look kind of shiny and new. They actually kind of reek of fresh varnish as well.
Or I'm gonna have to.
I'm gonna go.
Oh, yeah, I get you.
Test
Yep.
it.
Tolgar the chair sitter.
He stands up with varnish. Like,
Okay, you going to sit in it?
He's looking
All right,
for
yeah,
a new
you
throne.
sit down in it.
Wiggle around.
All right. It's kind of sticky. And like when you lift your arms off the arms, you've got like resin all over that's stuck to all your arm hairs. Your loincloth is now kind of gummy, as are the backs of your thighs.
varnish.
Not a good chair.
Well, it was
Try the one next to it.
dry.
Yes, that is magical salve, apparently. I'm just going to enter the shop.
Ugh.
I'm gonna glare at him as he says
All
that.
right. Okay, you wander through the door and you can see what appears to be a gentleman. He is average build, probably his mid-40s. He's got balding black hair, wearing green pants and tunic and like a brown waistcoat on. And he has got a large brush and he is painting what appears to be the 4th in the set of the chairs that you saw waiting, or basically sitting outside, probably in the air to dry. There are piles of wood all around the shop itself, as well as like a half varnished table. There's a chair at the far end that's kind of like laying on its side, where he's probably using resin to get the legs to secure in place. As you walk in, he continues to paint. He's like, I'll be with you in just a second.
The tongue out people.
Seeing him do this, I'm gonna tell Car.
Right, he lays the brush down on the arm of the chair. He says, right, pleasure to meet you, Robin MC. And he wipes his hands on his apron and reaches out his kind of sticky hand to shake. Probably Tolgar's hand since he's closest.
Okay, your chair's broke outside.
Broke?
It was all sticky when I sat in it.
Oh, yeah, no, they're not ready yet, not for sitting in. Oh, never mind, I'll have to re-varnish it. Not to worry, what can I do for you? What have you come here to visit my humble abode for on this fine day, the Sow Harvest Festival Eve?
Yes, I'm sure you're aware of the recent events at the markets the past couple days.
Past couple of days? What, been some robberies?
There have been robberies.
Oh, no, I wondered if you're talking about that fella that they found with his eyeball pulled out, ain't ya?
Well, yes, you see, we were wondering, considering how close your establishment is to the markets, that you might have heard something or seen something that could help us in our investigation. We're investigating the murder.
Okay, well, you can see there's
And the
two.
robberies.
You can see there's two windows here
Sure,
that
yes.
clearly overlook the market. Oh well, see, I usually only work till sundown, then I head off home for my tea. So wouldn't have been here during that incident. They say it happened late at night or in the early hours of the morning.
And you have no one who works the shop with you who might have been there overnight.
Just me, I'm afraid, and I usually lock up, as I said, about sundown and head home. My house is far to the north end, all the way to the right, close to the lake. Picked it up for a steal I did. Had this really nice young man sell the house to me. Had big puffy hair, stuck up in the air like that, it was.
That's unfortunate. You said something about robberies, though?
Oh, no, when you said about the market last couple of days, I thought maybe you knew something I didn't.
What about the robberies?
Well, what about the robberies? You tell
What are
me.
they?
You're the ones that know about them. I was asking the question.
Well,
Were there any robberies?
I have a
mentioned
headache.
it First.
You mentioned the robberies.
No, I said, were there any robberies?
Oh.
no.
I thought you
No,
said,
that's
what
not
about
what
the
you said.
robberies?
You got to understand, roaming around out there in the marketplace, all them people, it's not uncommon for a cut purse to have a way with someone's coin. It's what keeps the militiamen busy around here. Mostly petty theft and, light fingers.
So you're responsible for the robberies.
Well, no. What do I need to rob anyone for?
No.
Got this fine establishment right
Okay.
here.
Have you seen or heard anything strange in this town in the days leading up? Not necessarily having to do with the markets, just in general. That
Not really.
caught you off guard, or while you varnished or painted.
No, I mean, I've been working on a set of table and chairs for his lordship up at the farm. This is the fourth of them. The table's over there, and he kind of points behind him at this circular table right here.
And the farm has been drama free
As far as I know.
because it was, what was it, a farmhand who was killed, or
Oh, that's right, it was, wasn't it? Yeah, it was one of
This guy with one eye.
his lordship's field hands was unfortunate enough to meet his demise.
well, thank you for your time.
Oh, not at all.
The person who lives north of here, that's his house, correct? So might have been here home.
He might have been.
Do you know who he is? So we Don't go there looking like, well, look at Tolkien as Varnish. Idiots. I mean, just as a primer, if you will.
Primer.
Yes, if you mean the person that lives...
Oh, that you know what it is.
And he kind of points northwards. He said, so you mean the house that's directly on the other side of that wall?
Yes.
He said, yeah, I know him. Everybody around here knows each other. Belenos Delant is his name. Mr. Belenos.
His voice is so good.
He works for the... he's actually a member of the militia. So, been around for a while, he has.
Belenos?
Yes, Belenos. Belenos Delant.
Okay.
So the odds of him being questioned by his fellow militiamen are quite high, considering... At least I would think so.
I mean, I would feel fairly sure that if Belenos actually was aware of what happened, he probably would have enlightened the good Sergeant Reynolds. And I'm sure that would have led to a prompt arrest. The fact that they haven't captured the criminal would lead me to believe that he probably doesn't know much. But he might have been on duty at the time, so who knows?
Does he have family?
Yeah, he's got a wife and 2 kiddies.
Well, thank you.
But understand, this is a respectable town full of respectable people. Not many people would have been poking around in the early hours of the morning when this murder's supposed to have happened. Most people have probably been fast asleep.
Except the people responsible for the robberies, they may have seen something, right?
Oh my god, with the robberies again.
Or indeed the person that actually...
What? We didn't even mention that we were here for the marketplace before he started asking about robberies.
Yeah, but he already said that he was just asking, has there been robberies, not that he knew of robberies.
Right, that's right. As I said, it's not uncommon.
Thing to say when he doesn't even know that's what we were.
As I said, it's not uncommon for robbers to thieve from people in the market square. I mean, if you look around you, it's not like anyone's going to half-inch anything here, is it? I mean, what's someone going to do? Walk off with a couple of planks? No. The marketplace, of course, a lot of individual people all bustling around, bumping shoulders. Ideal for a light-fingered person to just put their fingers into someone's pocket and hop out a few gold
sounds like you
coins.
think about it quite a lot.
Brains.
I think about it quite a lot. Well, no, I mean, I'm just a member of society. I mean, I know what goes on here. I live here, for God's sake.
Okay. Perhaps would it be possible for you to build a cart for us? Because the wagon we came in on was quite unsuitable to our needs.
I'm not going to lie to you. My expertise is furniture. Could I build it? I could probably build the cart. I might need a bit of a hand with the wheels, though. Of course, you might have better luck elsewhere in town.
Well, thank you for your honesty.
I mean, if you really want me to have a go at it, I can, but...
No, that's okay. It was just a thought. We're good. I'm gonna look at everyone else and give them a nod.
Was that the reason that you came in here, to ask about the acquisition of a cart? Was it?
Oh my god, this guy.
No.
So what can I do for you then? I'm interested in table, chairs, some nice shelves.
Not your chairs.
We were really curious about the murder across the street. Thank you, though.
Oh, so you just... fair enough then.
We're hoping the militia try to crack the case.
Oh yeah, far be it from me to take time out of my busy day and lose money to answer your pointless questions. No, that's fine.
Okay.
Not to mention I've got to re-varnish a bloody chair because somebody sat in it.
Have a good festival.
Yeah, I'd like to have a good festival, mate, but I'll probably be stuck here working because I've got something else to do now, ain't I?
We're just making enemies.
As I leave, I'm gonna flick a gold coin to him.
Gold.
All right. He catches it and he goes,
Copper.
"Oh, well, in that case, the pleasure was all mine.
Yeah.
I very much appreciate it. If you need any other questions answered,
Yes, that I'm just gonna nod and then leave.
I very
Yeah,
much
heard that.
appreciate it, mate. Good day."
Then I'm taking the chair.
Thelonious, why do I feel like you two would be good friends?
Okay, are you
Why would you
taking the
say such a
chair?
thing?
Are you going to steal the chair or no?
Nah.
Okay.
I just say it.
I guess we should just go to the farm, right? The farmhouse, because the guy above us, militia, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's my thoughts on it. If you ask me, unless he saw something completely unnatural that he'd be ashamed to admit,
Or him having a family. Maybe they're being used as leverage against him to keep his mouth shut. Just thought.
so, I mean, if I were an evil thing that sucked out people's brains, not to say that I am, but if I were, which I'm not, I might seek out some kind of way to maybe manipulate someone in town. Especially if my business is brains, manipulation seems like it might be a hobby.
It is quite a fun hobby, I can tell you firsthand.
Well, considering what time this apparent murder took place and where it took place, why would somebody be at the marketplace at that hour?
Sorry.
It's also possible that he's the night shift. Maybe his family saw something he didn't.
Well, yeah. Our suspicion is that the fish market stall was a meetup place for some dastardly deed that ended with a missing eye and brain.
Meet up.
Yeah, it was the farmhand was in some dirty business, maybe having to do with something on the farm that we suspect Port Enduint might have wanted because it is about the harvest.
Why would
He
they
went
should
to-
take a
for
place
some,
like that? Or don't you think there's a better place qualified for something like that?
Yes.
Maybe we should check for some ads about opportunity, lose an eye and a brain. Any interested party meet at the fish stall.
Yes.
You.
Dolgar, get on it.
Yes.
So
I
what?
told you I've seen lots of wanted posters everywhere.
Yes, but not of us.
No.
Think that happened. Well, think that's me a thought.
Frita Gand.
So if the militiaman was on a night watch, we could go as Kyla and Thelonious and Lilith said.
It would be hurt to ask.
We're
It would
right
take such a
here.
moment.
It's right there. Why
Yes,
not
yes,
that?
Yes, close proximity and all that.
Okay, lead the way.
I lead the way.
But let's try not to get on the militiaman family's bad side, right? We have good capital with the law in this town.
Yeah, as long as somebody doesn't mention robberies when we haven't even said what we're here for.
And as long as they don't have terrible chairs.
I highly doubt that the Guard family is involved in robbery.
I hope not.
All right, so you want to wander around the other side to this house right here. Okay, yes, as you approach the house, there are indeed two windows, either side of the door, to the left and the right. Definitely the one to the right would probably have a pretty clear view of the marketplace. And noticing where the chimney stack is, it's probably either the living room or the kitchen is in that, in that sector. So, much like many of the residential houses here, it's got a thick thatched roof, wooden planking walls, and a sturdy oak door.
And this is one person's home, right? Because you said there were two entrances?
No, there's only one entrance, two windows, either side
Two
of the
windows.
door.
Okay.
Yeah, this according to your friendly local carpenter, this is the home of Belanos Delunt. He was the one of the night watchmen, according to Robin MC.
All right, old man. Knock on the door. Let's get this party going.
Talking to you,
Oh, you're speaking to me?
obviously.
Well, since I'm apparently digging up a body by myself tonight.
Oh, a bit of a sore spot, eh? All right. I'll just kind of knock gently on the door. A little rap tap tap.
Okay.
To think of it, isn't digging it kind of like
You can.
getting closer
Okay, so
back
you
down?
tap on the door, and
Yes.
almost immediately you hear crying, like,
Oh, bye.
and then you hear, "Shut up! Oh, for God's sake, who is it?"
We have come for some
But the door gets
inquiry.
snatched open, and this gnarly-looking woman is standing there with a furious scowl, clutching a baby, incredibly vigorously rocking the baby to the left and the right. What do you want? I was trying to get him to sleep.
That's not gonna help, ma'am. Hand me the baby.
I don't think so.
You're just gonna make it throw up.
Not that babies do. I've raised 2 of my own.
Togar.
Sure, I know more than
I've
you
raised
do.
many babies. You don't vigorously shake them.
Yeah, the Scarblood driveway singers rhymes. What the fuck?
Yes, barbarians know the proper way to raise small children.
You give them a spear. You send them hunting. They'll stop their crying.
As you say that, you notice she's like slows down
There
her
we
rocking.
go.
Like she has also noticed I probably was going a little bit more vigorously than I probably should have done. And she's like, "What is it?"
As she's slowing down, I'm going to cast, just really quickly, prestidigitation and make the calming scent of lavender waft through the baby's nostrils, helping it calm down.
Okay, you and your lavender is going to bottle that stuff and
love
sell it.
lavender.
Well, it helps. It helps people sleep and calm down.
That's right. Okay.
As all wizards know, obviously.
Thelonious' lavender sensations hand soaps coming soon. To an apothecary near you.
Thelonious is essential oil coming to an apothecary near you. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, let me help with that really quick, and I'll cast a spell.
Okay.
Maybe were you aware of any of the devious acts that have taken place across the street at the market back there?
Don't get out of the house very much myself, really.
Well,
I tell you what, though. I tell you what.
Yes.
If you're, if you'd like to come in just for a minute, come on inside. I can't stand out here in this cold, chilly air. Got the baby, you see. Don't want to catch a cold.
Yes. I'll kind of turn around and go, shall we enter? Group?
Okay, so she
Yes.
invites you in, and there's a small, narrow hallway. She goes through a door on the right, which is in line with where the chimney, and that is indeed the kitchen. There's a really plain, simple table with 4 chairs, a large fireplace, and a pot of something cooking on the fire, you think?
Is it eyeball stew?
Well, it's got a weird smell. It doesn't really smell very appetizing. Kind of cabbagey sort of smell.
Eyeball smell like cabbage.
Smells like the paper mill spook.
So,
you
yeah,
know
I'm
what
gonna-
I'm talking about.
We're
Oh
gonna
god,
enter
it smells
in.
like a public restroom in here then. Great.
She says,
Yes.
shut the door. She says,
I shut the door.
So,
I wanted
do
to
you
air
like
out.
babies? Do you like babies too? Look at a little baby. Do you like baby? You said you like
trying to
babies,
pawn
didn't you,
her
big
off.
fella?
How much does that baby weigh? Which is an odd question, I know, but
Lighter than a duck?
She says, oh, well, he's about 4 months old. He weighs about, I think he's up to about, well, don't really know, but he's almost as heavy as a bag of spuds now.
I want that laugh for my notification.
He says, well, wouldn't you care to hold him for a minute? Want to hold the baby?
Oh,
Don't do
me,
it.
me,
Don't
please.
do it.
Okay, without question, she stuffs the baby into Lilith's arms, and like almost lets go too soon. You have to like, and catch him. She goes, oh, it's hard work, isn't it? Though it's hard work raising a little one.
I'm like not gonna answer. I'm just completely spellbound by holding this baby.
Right, she's like, would you like a piece of cake? Who wants cake?
Oh,
I love a bit of cake, me. I love a bit of cake.
me.
And she goes over and
I mean, yeah, I want it.
baked it myself yesterday. Apple cake it is, and she starts cutting off slices and brings incredibly large slices of cake over on 2 saucers, and one of them goes to Thelonious because he raised his hand, and she's like hovering the other one around for someone to take.
Take it.
Okay.
Fine.
She's right. So, what can I do for you?
I'm eating cake, so
Have you seen?
I'm predisposed. For
Have
the
you heard
moment.
about the murder in the market?
Have I heard about the murder? It's all I've heard about. Thelonious come home the following day talking about it. Quite gruesome, they say it was. It's very gruesome. Apparently, he had his eyeball plucked out, and somehow they got they got his brains, right? They got his brains, and they pulled his brains out through his eyeball as well. Very small hole, that really, isn't it, to pull your brain out?
So his eye wasn't gone already.
Well, no.
Oh,
He had both of his eyes the day before.
Yeah, so the night of the incident, was your husband here or on patrol?
No, he was here. He was asleep.
And none of you heard anything suspicious that would have caused you to go to one of these windows?
Trust me. Round here, this last few months, we don't get a whole lot of sleep. But when we are asleep, it's like we're living corpses. You know, we're out cold. Until he wakes up, and then she points at the baby.
And did he wake up that night?
Oh, 2 or 3 times. And of course, usually when he wakes up, all you can hear is caterwauling and squalling.
can we talk to babies, Emlyn?
Of course you can.
Is it a language?
And she kind of walks over.
Wait a second.
You like when people
I
talk
remember
to
you
you, don't
talking
you?
about a baby.
Coochie-coo.
You're not getting near this baby. What is its name?
What is its name? His name? His name is Henry. I'm named
His
after my
name is
late
Henry.
father. My late father, Henry.
It's a boy. Well, I mean, it's still cute.
I'm giving both Lilith and Togar this weird
But you
what
still
the F
haven't
look.
told me what you want to talk to me about.
Nothing. We were honestly trying to help your husband and the fellow lawmen of this town solve this murder. So we were...
Well, if you want to talk to him, then go down to the militia house. He's
Well,
not
he was
here.
busy. No, but we came for you.
Oh, you came for me, did
For
you?
you.
Because
We were hoping that you might have seen something out one of these windows, but it doesn't seem you have, so...
Afraid not.
we'll be
Fast
off.
asleep.
And then I'm just gonna walk out the door.
yes, we will go to your husband's when we have time. With more questions if needed.
Yes, well, fair enough. All right, then off you go. Anyone need another piece of cake for the road?
Yes, please, thank you.
My husband doesn't like apple cake.
Oh, what a foolish man.
Oh, but you seem to like it just fine. I'll tell you what, I've just cut off a nice big slice for myself, and you can have the rest. And she puts it in like a loincloth and folds it up.
Oh,
Here you go.
bless you, kind woman.
It's nice to meet a man that appreciates good quality bacon.
Old leathery man.
Cut it open, find a finger. Like,
An eyeball and some brain.
It still tastes good.
Yes, thank you for your time.
All right.
Sorry to bother you.
Okay. So as you head towards the door, she seems to be quite happily ushering you out the door.
can I do a sense motive check on this woman?
Sure.
I don't know what that is in 5e.
Insight.
It would be an
Insight.
insight check. Yes, indeed.
Lilith, did you give the baby back?
No, I'm not giving it back till she takes it back.
She is not asking for it back. In fact, she is quite happily pushing you towards the door, holding the baby.
Lola, give the baby back. We don't need to take care of a baby this campaign. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, she definitely seems overly friendly to a bunch of strangers. And, yeah, she does seem quite happy to palm that baby off to Lilith. For whatever reason that might be.
I wonder.
Who doesn't like babies after all?
Lilith,
Yeah?
you still have her child.
Well, but I mean, we're going to be in town for a little while.
What?
Think about the power there. She's already got a way in with the men, and they'll just do whatever she says, right? With the baby, so will the women.
You do know that the mother's right here.
He says, if you're offering to babysit, I don't mind.
Oh, it's baby fatigue. You want sleep, and you want the baby out of the house so you can take a nap.
No, that would make me a bad mother. No, that's not it at all.
Hey, you can be a bad mother.
You're clearly very nice people. Very nice. I mean, I said it to myself, didn't I? I said it to myself as soon as you walked in. They're very nice people, I thought. Very nice. And if you'd like to take care of my son, if you'd like to take care of Henry for a few hours, that would be fine.
Yes! And I'm just going to start walking out the door without saying anything else.
Couple hours, huh?
Hold on. And she runs back to the kitchen and comes out with a small wine skin. She goes, here's some goat's milk, in case he gets hungry.
Yeah, right, I'm going to take it. Oh, yeah, I get to feed him.
She goes, right, so, just have him back before... What time does he get home? Have him back before sundown.
All right.
Make sure you do, though, because my husband will be pretty pissed off if he finds his son's not here. But off you go. And I've got other things to do.
Yes, okay.
I very much appreciate it. It's very nice of you. Very, very nice of you to do this for me.
Bye.
So we're gonna leave?
She's like, bye, ta-ta, bye.
Emlyn, do we need a second baby?
Second baby, what, you need them in pairs?
Kyla.
Did I hear Telgar say this?
I mean, you're all right there, yeah, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I'm just going to make a hissing noise and just kind of glare at Telgar when he says it.
No, we're not. Kyla, why don't you, hang back and keep an eye on this woman? Maybe she goes somewhere.
She did say she had other things to do, and I found that a little strange.
Yeah, maybe she has a lover in the city, in this town, and she's going to see him in some scandal, you know?
I'm not too familiar with the
Why would you care?
What does that matter?
festivities here. But I find it strange to believe that the wife of a guard would have cake just sitting around.
Well, if the old man dies, we can see if he's dies of poisoning or something.
And that's not what I'm saying.
Oh.
What are you saying?
It's just... It's not the cheapest thing to produce. And she seemed quite busy with the child, yeah? Or did she find the time to make it? Unless, of course, she bought it, in which case she probably spent a bit more than she'd be comfortable doing.
Okay, we're going off in many tangents here.
But what I mean to say is there's a little bit here that's strange to me.
So do you want to keep an eye on her while we tend to the baby?
If you want to go check with the family of the deceased, that'd be great. Of course, you have a hole to dig, so you might want to delegate that one. And I'm gonna go kind of find like a way to like mix into the crowd, if there is any.
I mean, well, there's the market, of course, right across the street. There's a couple of trees
there
next to it.
maybe
So I
like
mean, you can get a
next
good
one.
if you want to hide behind the trees, you could kind of get a fairly good view of her house from there.
Maybe look like I'm resting there to
Yeah.
kind of like watch.
All right. What's everybody else want to do then? So Kyla is gonna loiter north of the marketplace to keep her eyes on the front door of the Delint house. Where do you guys want to go?
We are going to go to the 8th house on the left up the street. Because it was the 8th house, right, guys?
Yep, it's the one right between the two chimneys. I
Yep.
remember.
Right, yeah, it's this one right here with the double.
Okay.
And as we're going, I'm going to look to Lilith and I'm going to say, you're not going to do any crazy baby sorcery, are you?
Baby sorcery?
I don't know.
Like the
You're
thing that
thrall
me
of...
and
Henry is a
Sure.
terrible.
Yeah, don't forget,
Oh,
Emlyn has a baby skull on his book, and a baby's hand is now
That's a
the
class.
that's
clasp
wonder why
to keep
I'm
the
not
book
letting you
closed.
embarrassed.
I mean, look,
Very good folk, trustable.
He's very aware that baby sacrifices can be useful.
Baby magic? No. And did I mention that you and Tolgar aren't allowed near Henri? Yes, stay away.
Wait, what? What's his name?
Henri.
Henri.
Lilith, I'm not going to hurt a new baby. That's
A
not
new
something
baby.
that's-
Only old ones. I only hurt old babies.
It's something that might have happened in my recent past, but
Feeling
when you hear
nostalgic.
the story, you'll understand and you'll quite enjoy it. But, it's not like I do this every morning. I wake up
She
and
would
like, let's
enjoy
hurt a
it.
baby.
It's only every
Especially the
other
baby.
man.
She would-
Yes, but Tolgar, stop mentioning him.
okay.
Okay.
Come on.
Well, as you guys are having this discussion, wandering down the northmost street to your east, no sooner have they turned the corner and headed down that street, Kyla, that you see her basically push what appears to be about a 7 or 8 year old boy out the door. You can hear, because she's not exactly being quiet, so, go on, off you go play with your friends, Mummy's got something to do.
Oh,
So
okay.
he ends up leaving.
I'm gonna have to get a closer look at this.
Right. The kid just shrugs his shoulder and wanders off between the house and the carpenters, heading eastwards.
Right.
All right.
Probably gonna.
She closes the door behind her.
I'm gonna want to kind of work my way into maybe a bit of a crowd. Work my way then. I'm gonna do a little freehand drawing. Yeah. Do. Something kind of like this, and then I'm gonna try and like sneak down the alleyway here and check the back for windows.
Okay. All right. So you're going to kind of like follow the path that the young boy went, and then sneak around the back of the house. Not a problem. All right. With the amount of noise outside and stuff like that, I'm not going to make you make any kind of, roll to be quiet or anything like that. No stealth required, really. So you just usher your way round. Okay, peering through the back windows. The back window of the kitchen reveals that she's not in there. The back kitchen as you kind of peer through not the back kitchen, but the second door, or second window, which is furthest to the north end of the house, looks like a fairly meager living room. But you can hear echoey footsteps on the second floor, because it's like a two-story house. You can hear like boom, 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 boom. So she's upstairs doing something. She seems to be, the footsteps are incredibly quick, so she seems to be moving with haste.
Right. I'm gonna have to sneak in somehow, aren't I?
Are you?
Okay. I'm gonna crack the window if I can. Is this a stationary window or does it open?
Which window are you trying? The kitchen window or the living room window?
The living room one.
That will be locked, or at least closed where you can't open it from the inside.
Well, then I guess I'd try the kitchen one.
I'm going to give you a 50-50 shot of that being unlatched. It's fairly common back in those days when people would cook to kind of put food on the window ledge to cool off and stuff like that. So under a 50 or under, and it is open. I'm afraid not. She's diligent about guards. See, guard household. He's schooled her on home security. So unfortunately, no. You damn it.
And the latch is probably in a pretty secure position.
Latch is on the inside, yeah.
Yeah. I'm thinking trying to try the door without raising anyone's alarm there.
Okay, so you want to... Well, you know she's upstairs. So you want to run back round the front and open the front door?
Yeah, but nonchalantly, check the door and be like, oh, if it doesn't open, just be like, oh, forgot my key, and then go
well, she didn't lock it behind her. I mean, she just closed it. So, give me a sleight of hand check. See how stealthily you're able to open said door without making too much noise.
Hopefully, okay. Oh.
All right. Yeah, it's a little creaky, I'm afraid, as you're like.
Dang it.
But from upstairs, the end of the hallway, there's a flight of stairs. You can hear. A bit of this, yes. Oh, better make myself smell nice. Wonder if that fella had any more of that lavender. That was a lovely smell, wasn't it? A lovely smell. I'll have to ask him about that next time I see him. Oh, anyway, I'll better. Oh yes, there. Oh yes, lovely. You look a treat. You do, an absolute treat. Oh, he won't be able to resist this.
Did the boy look at all like her? What I imagine the father to look like?
You've never met the father, so
exactly.
Who knows? But you can hear. Okay, you hear the footsteps coming along the landing, getting closer to the top of the stairs.
Right. I'm gonna leave the door open.
Okay.
And just leave to go join the group.
So you're going to leave the door open and just hightail it running northwards to try to catch up with your friends?
Yep.
Okay, alright.
Just leave it open.
Alright.
It was probably the kid, Blasted kid.
Hey, may well have been. Okay, so you're heading down the street as fast as your little legs will carry you. Meanwhile...
I'm not running to cause a scene, but just kind of blending through.
Alright, so the rest of you are heading down the street, getting closer and closer to the house. Obviously, Emlyn is 1, 2... counting as he goes. Since he was so meticulously recalled, it was the 8th house on the left.
It's funny because it's true. I totally did count on this map. So.
All right, so eventually you get to the house that would appear to be the house that Emlyn is looking for.
Okay. I'm gonna go up to the door and knock a little bit firmer than Thelonious did at the cheating wife's place.
Okay. Right. Boom, boom, boom. Alright, the door opens, and a fairly kind of young and plain-looking girl opens. She's kind of got short, bobbed, corn-colored hair, a slightly off-white, kind of creamish blouse with a apron and a plain brown skirt. She kind of opens the door and she says, can I help you?
Yes, we are in town investigating the unfortunate tragedy that befell your family. For the good of the law people who are busy with preparations for the festival.
You're working with the militia, is that it?
Yes, we are.
Oh, I don't know anything else I can think to tell you that I haven't already told Sergeant Ranald.
Well, do you mind if we come in just to ask a few questions? Not too many, of course. We don't want to...
I suppose. She kind of like opens the door and lets you into the house.
Perfect.
So, the fact that you're here asking me more questions means you're not any closer to finding out who killed my Ralph then. And she starts to like, her eyes begin to water up. She's like, "Excuse me."
Well, we are trying to come to terms with why your late husband would be at the market at an odd hour.
As Sergeant Reynolds said, I mean, I can't think of any reason why.
And did he say anything the night before or preceding this?
No, I mean, they were working the fields, and of course this time of year they tend to work the fields pretty late, getting ready for the harvest. They were cleaning out the barns and mopping out the grain storage to get everything ready, making sure that there was no moisture and everything was dry. Long hours this time of year. And I was expecting him home, but Ralph never made it home. And she starts to cry.
Thelonious, Lavender.
Yes, yeah, but wait.
My answer to everything.
Yeah, I wafted in her face.
We're so good at
Thelonious
consoling
Lavender
people.
It's like the inappropriate way he just walks up to crying. Woman's like,
Yeah.
So
to dispel sadness.
when he works this late, when he has worked this late before, what time thereabouts did he get home?
Usually not long after dark. I mean, once it gets dark, there's not a lot they can do.
And the market itself, they close at sundown as well?
The market would have been closed probably a few hours before he would have been home.
And the streets of this town, are they after dinner when the sun sets? Is it busy in the streets, or do most people just retire to their
Well,
homes?
it depends on what time of year. I mean, in the summer
Well,
it
this
stays pretty busy. This time of year, of course, it gets a little colder at night. So, no, I mean, obviously some people that are heading down to the tavern or fishermen coming home or anything like that. But other than just regular comings and goings, no, it's not that busy.
Just a few more questions, and we'll leave you alone. Did the farmer himself have any strange guests or people that your husband might have remarked about? Like, hey, this exotic man came from this area and was weird.
Not that I recall. I mean,
Nothing that stood out to you.
no, but you must understand, Ralph was just a simple farmhand. He wouldn't have doesn't really have much in the way of elbows to rub with the farmer.
And being a simple farmhand, did he have a boss between, the
Yes,
farmer himself?
There's the foreman.
And the foreman is who and where does he live?
Actually, with the foreman, he and she kind of like points at the wall, which would indicate she's pointing eastwards. 3 doors down.
Did I miss something? What's going on?
You're saying kryptonite, right?
3.
Oh. I'm gonna look at Thelonious and Tolgar and Lilith and Baby. Any questions?
His name is Henri. Get it right?
I don't care about his name. Any other thing to ask that I forgot or didn't?
I think we know what our next lead should be. Maybe we leave her and let her console in peace.
Yes. Sorry again, and hope you pull it together.
What the hell?
Ooh, wow.
That's almost as bad as saying, well, he had a good innings, didn't he?
I kind of shrug as I say this and awkwardly shrug and leave for the door.
Baby, I might hit you right now.
Probably deserved. Let's go.
All right.
At least you're not married anymore.
Single lady now?
Yeah, I have a job prospect for you.
Okay. All right, so you know he's 3 doors down.
Hey, bitch, you want to make some money for me?
So as I leave, I'm gonna look 3 doors down. I guess Foreman.
Probably about now, you can see Kyla quick stepping it down the street towards you. And Ninja, thanks for the resub, buddy. Much love. 43 months. Take those pants off and
Ninja.
it's your height. Thanks, buddy.
Anything?
Oh, you're never going to believe it. She left right up to her room right after we lit, sent her boy out to go play or some other, and then up in her room, she was up there preparing for a date. She's cheating on her husband.
Addicted, thank you for joining us. Twitch Prime, new sub hype. Take your pants off, hit the hype. Welcome to the Reroll family, buddy.
How scandalous
It's nothing,
indeed.
nothing but an honest scandal is all.
An honest scandal.
Yeah. Well, she's not actually hurting anyone. She's just making more people happy. I don't see what's wrong with that. I'm just gonna keep.
She's
How about
spreading the love.
Was she an attractive woman? I don't actually.
Not really, no. I mean, she was a bit scowly and a little bit mean.
Yeah.
I mean, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, so...
Very true.
The actual
That's
beholder.
not all it's in.
Good-looking women cheat on their man. They're shagging.
Hey, I just want to know what her charisma score was, okay?
Let's just say she'd have been lucky to be pushing above average.
Okay. Well, we're here. We're going to talk to the foreman, although he might be on the farm. Give him the time.
Okay. So nothing from her then.
No, she's a weepy mess.
Yeah, Lilith, that
I don't know
makes
what you
two.
just did to Matt, but he's gone.
Oh, weeping mess. I'm using that from now on. Thank you.
God, insulting a sad person. That's just
A babbling brook.
I'm doing what my character would do. We're gonna go to the foreman's house.
Yes.
Ooh.
Alrighty. 3 doors down it is.
We're fucked up.
Okay.
Yes. Knock on the door.
Alrighty. So a woman who has white hair, it's kind of tied up into a top bun. So kind of like, you know, it's all pulled up tight with a big white knot on the top. She's probably in her late 50s, possibly early 60s. She opens the door. Yes?
Hi. I think I know the answer to this question, but is your husband, the foreman, home?
No, Horace won't be home for several hours, I'm afraid.
And, well, a few nights ago there was an incident at the stalls. I'm sure you've heard of it, right?
Oh.
The trap.
I did indeed. Ralphie. Poor old Ralphie.
Yes,
Somebody...
That-
I'd often said to him, Ralphie, you'll have your eye out.
This whole thing.
Wait,
Just for that.
You'll shoot your eye out.
I hate you, Thor. I really hate you right now.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I didn't think it would have that much impact on him.
Oh.
Oh, we're
No.
Be that as it may, that night, what time did your husband get home with the work being done at the farm?
You're talking about a few days ago when they found poor Ralphie?
Well, the night before they found poor Ralphie, yes.
Night before? Oh, I don't know. Late as usual. It's always
Late as-
dark by the time he gets in. But
Like-
to always have his supper ready and his slippers by the fire.
So before dinner.
Supper.
Well, yeah, no, before midnight I meant to ask.
Oh, yes, before midnight, for sure.
And did he say anything about work or his...
No, he just came in and said that it was going to be a splendid harvest and that once again winter had praised Torrington on the Mere. Being so tired, he ate his supper by the fireplace, had a nice warm pint of stout, and then off to bed.
And do the farmhands stay later than your husband on the farm?
Oh, no,
Or-
no, my husband's usually the last to leave. Make sure everything's locked away, the barns are locked up, the grain
Ralph had
stores are
gone home?
closed.
What was that, Togar?
So Ralph had gone home that night.
As far as I know, I
And has your husband ever mentioned anything strange happening up at the farm? Out of the ordinary?
no, not at all, no. I mean, we've been blessed these several years with, the crops have grown splendid, the wheat, the barley, the hops. Even the apple orchards have been bountiful.
Unnaturally so?
Well, my dear fellow, we have a churchhood for the god of winter right here in town.
Yes,
I should
full of-
bloody well hope that at least we can get a good harvest out of it.
Yes, the Church of Drunk Alcoholics. Yes.
No. Now, I'll have to stop you there. Just because people here in Horrendon worship winter, and we appreciate the fruits of the barley, you'll nae find many drunkards around here. We have a sensible understanding of such things. We enjoy these fruits properly. We don't abuse them like others.
You wouldn't happen to have an odd death like that every year, would you?
Hey, you're wondering who's a good baby.
An odd death every year. A strange thought. Of course, people do die every year, but nothing so sinister. No, the last sinister thing that happened would have been, I think, 4 years back. 4 years where, old Maud Aberwenthy was found floating in the lake, drowned. But it wasn't that was in the height of summer.
They're related.
Two
I
people
was
dead?
thinking
It must be.
something that happened. More toward the
If more than
harvest.
one person died.
It just seems... See, we spoke to the late Ralph's wife not a few minutes ago, and she said that he never came home. And if your husband finished working on the farm a few hours after sundown, and the body wasn't discovered until early the next morning, there's several hours unaccounted for in Ralph's, life.
I mean, perhaps Ralph went to the tavern before he went home. Perhaps he wandered down for a blessing at the church. Who knows? May have done a number of things before he went to the house.
Is he known to go to the tavern or the church? Like, is that... Do all the farmhands get together after work and get wasted?
Again.
Respectfully so.
But of course, I mean, just about everybody here frequents the Pig and Whistle at times. It's not unheard of course. And with the harvest coming up, it is entirely possible that he went seeking a blessing, as I said. You know, our farmers take bringing in the crops a very, very serious business.
There haven't been any strange visitors the past couple months.
Hey, Torte, thanks for the cheer, bud. Sorry, what was that, my dear?
There haven't been any strange or particularly ornate visitors that have come around the past few months.
I don't get out much these days myself. Of course, being the week leading up to, Sow Harvest Festival, there's a lot of strange folk come through. A lot of travellers, and much like yourselves. I mean, take a look at you. You're a fairly, non-conspicuous bunch of people.
Yeah, well, that's a good point to start. Have you seen anyone like me recently?
I'm afraid we tend not to, don't take it the wrong way, don't take offense, but we tend not to encourage people like you. Is that your baby, is it?
Yes. His name is Henri.
Oh, nice little fella. His father is, and she kind of looks amongst the group.
All of us.
And finally looks at Tolgar. This fellow?
To find his father. His father came through here.
Oh, I see. One of those, is he? I do sympathize, my dear. Some men are just that way. They sow their royal oats or barley, and then off they go to plough another field.
Yes, they do tend to do that.
Well, I hope you catch up with him. And, I dare say these friends of yours are coming along to give him a darn good thrashing, what?
Oh, yes, he'll get what's coming to him.
Good. And so he should. Shirking his responsibilities like that.
In my tribe, only the women raised the babies.
Yes, well, in your tribe maybe, but here we have respect for our women. We understand it's a tough job raising the children, while you men are off fooling around in the fields all day, drinking beer and ale and brandy,
yes, we go to the
mead,
woods to fool
wines.
around, drink beer.
Thank you for your time. I think we're good guys. I'm just gonna nod and back out of the door.
Horace will be home probably in a few, quite a few hours left before it gets dark, so he won't be home for a good while.
Well, enjoy the festival tomorrow.
Oh yes, I dare say I might have a stroll down to the field and have a look about.
Let's go. Please.
As I leave, I'm gonna look at Toker and be like, "Are you okay?"
I have a headache.
Too much talking.
This goes nowhere.
I mean, yeah, it definitely seems that there seems to be little to no real solid leads as to the individual incident itself, or at least not amongst those that you've come up to. Of course, again, as the guards pointed out, they believed it did happen in the early wee hours of the morning, and this is a far distance away from the marketplace.
I mean, as we're walking kind of nowhere, I imagine, I'm just gonna say the church people didn't mention seeing him the night before. I would think that they would if he came for a blessing, right? After work. Like, it would just be something to say, oh, yeah, he was here, and then he left. But we got none of that.
Well, if DeWitt was here, someone saw him. So, we just have to find that person.
I mean, I could see Ralph going to the tavern for a quick drink with some farmhand friends. And we didn't exactly ask the bartender if he had seen him, or did we? I don't remember, honestly.
Now, you haven't really spoken to the bartender about anything.
We didn't ask that figure we saw there either, who we know keeps an eagle eye on all the things happening inside the bar.
Yes, that Togar.
eagle eye.
What?
I have the eyes of an eagle.
Oh, yes. And so may he or she. We do not know. What a conundrum. Maybe we should find out.
So working theory now is Ralph frequented the bar after work, stayed late into the night, maybe got drunk, because that's what everyone in this town seems to do, and maybe fell in with the wrong crowd who ushered him to the markets and then took his brain.
Maybe they just needed any brain. He doesn't seem to hold any kind of he doesn't seem much more than just a farm person. So maybe he just was the unlucky pick.
Well,
I have a theory. What if the wind just left?
What?
This whole thing could be a red herring.
I mean, yes, there could be no connection whatsoever, but the farmhand does have intricate knowledge of the farm, where the whole festival is kind of based around the whole thing.
Well, the whole point of investigating in the first place is just to see that DeWitt was here and where he went after this.
Yeah.
We really, I mean, I personally don't care about this
Right?
farmhand with no brain.
Yep.
Unless it has something to do with DeWitt.
And the only thing that I care about when it comes to that is where he's going to next. It's just proof he was here if he had anything to do with it.
Yes.
Yeah, because that's something you have yet to prove. I mean, you literally are only going on hearsay that the guy in Bamforth mentioned he said something about Horrington on the Mere. So, you know.
So
Maybe he said, I'm going to pass by Horrington on the Mere and not stop there.
Because it's a crap place. And
Where
I've
people
heard
get their
rumors of
eyebrains
people there
sucked.
having their eyeballs pulled out and brains pulled out from their eyeballs, and I don't want that to happen to me.
So are we saying that I shouldn't dig up the body?
No, we should
No,
dig
you're
up
not
the
getting
body.
out of that yet.
Yes. Why would we not do that? It maybe has some sort of a clue attached or detached.
Well, the clue would be better ruminated on if I wasn't alone.
I'll go.
Well, we're all going to help you. We were just, it was a jest. We were not going to make you do it by yourself, as that would take hours, I can imagine.
Yes.
For the man of
If
your
we-
stature.
If we draw an entire crowd out that way, we might attract a little attention.
Well, which reminds me, we should probably not be obvious, right? And walk out there with a shovel and lantern.
Well,
Can you turn
Yeah, I
us
mean,
invisible?
clearly, the last time, A, somebody kind of nudged you to do it, and B, it wasn't in a sanctified, holy place.
But we do have your magic bubble, Thelonious.
I was thinking that. What if we got permission to do so? I mean, again, we could say it's in the name of helping solve the murder.
The only risk with that is if they said no, they would know that we wanted to, so we could then not sneak it, because they would be
So-
aware.
So instead of asking for permission, you say ask for forgiveness.
Yes.
I mean,
That's how I live life,
what
personally.
is this? What is this bubble you talk of?
it's a strange and remarkable thing. Not exactly invisible, but
So we would have to put everything back. As you saw, it does draw a bit of attention. So
I mean, if it is at nighttime, it would
Draws
be.
attention on its own. It'll draw even more attention if it's in a cemetery.
yes, that was sort of what I was getting to. But the people wouldn't be able to definitively prove what we were doing. It would mask our intentions, so to speak. Maybe we're just having a picnic with a lost loved one.
I mean, I could create darkness if there were spectators trying to break in, and then we could.
Oh.
You could dispel it, and we could escape via invisibility, or
Could
Of
we
course.
just be invisible the whole time?
Invisible people digging up a grave?
Yes,
Maybe-
it could be spooky ghosts.
Piles of dirt just...
It's a
We
haunted
could wear white
cemetery.
sheets
It's
to
ghosts
look like ghosts.
digging. To free their body.
Sorry, did I really say that?
Ghost picnic.
Yes. Let's put some sheets on so we look like ghosts.
I mean, obviously we'd go after midnight. We'd try to get down there without being seen.
How about, because we know where the crime happened, and it wasn't too long ago. I know from my own personal experiences, which I'm not going to go too far into, that someone doing something bad in a place is likely to go back to that place for more victims. But if we maybe talk to the guard about it and tell them that we're going to maybe occupy the space, they trust us, they might not watch it as closely. And then that whole corner of the city, town, this place, would be a little easier to work over.
Well, the only problem with that is we don't know where the crime happened. We just know where the body ended up, right?
Right. So, say we're... it couldn't have been too far, and it wouldn't have been reasonable to dump them off. I'm thinking whatever it was led him out that way. There weren't too many drag lines or anything, right? But it's reasonable cause enough for us to go and post there and maybe watch out over the night while, say, Emlyn's digging up a dead body. And I know, I'll wait in the tavern to see if those weird ones do anything strange.
So you want to be as far away from anything incriminating while we take all the risk.
I didn't say that.
I mean, you sort of did.
I didn't say that.
No judgments, Kyla. I mean, it's smart, and I give you credit. I will say
She
this.
didn't say that.
I do need Thelonious with me at the body.
Right.
For what reason? I mean, yes, but I'm curious why you think so.
Well, you are, I assume, one of the smarter, the most scholastic of us.
Yes, I just wanted to hear you say it, that's all.
I mean, Tolgar, you could have some insight, too, of a more, well, barbaric sort, I guess.
Yes, put those eagle eyes to good use.
I bring many things to the field, including my brains at times. I would think you would only bring Thelonious close to a graveyard, for when he dies, he falls right into it. Don't need to take him anywhere.
Oh, I just said you had eagle eyes, and this is what you do to repay.
I mean, we would just refill the hole with you in it, Thelonious. You know, save a lot of...
That's what I was thinking.
What's happening here?
I jest, Thelonious, I jest.
Yes, you do.
Okay.
I don't
So-
make jokes.
That being said, it might be better that I actually keep the watch over the happenings. I think Lilith would be, well, with the talents she possesses, maybe a little better in the realm with the people.
Okay. Kyla, you have my permission to hang out at the bar all night and keep an eye on people who probably have even less to do with what we're doing.
Spook.
It was Thelonious, the astute observer, who brought up the people in the bar.
Just a passing thought. Something, but if you do stay there, I do expect some information to be gained from you, Kyla.
Right, so I'll keep a lookout over by the stalls then.
Fine. Lilith, do you want to go with us to the graveyard or with Kyla to the fish stall?
Well, I don't want to go to the graveyard. I can tell you that right now, especially not with what's going on there.
And you are going to return the baby, right? Just... Are you?
Thank you.
I don't want to cause more trouble in this party, but you kidnapping a baby...
She didn't seem like she wanted it very badly.
Well, she clearly just wanted the baby not to bother her during sexy time. She probably cares about the baby otherwise.
I'll probably give it back then.
I mean, you could make it a thrall of malcontent, whatever that entails, for all you want. I don't care.
Oh, it's a boy.
Well, boys can be. I mean, think of that, bard in the story, right? Sexy men, demon things.
Incubuses.
Sexy man demon.
I mean, it can be a few. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway. I guess we return to the inn and
Yeah, by this point we probably got.
and wait. I
We
guess.
talked to the barkeep
We have to-
about it.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, we talked to the barkeep. Yeah.
All right, so back to the pig and whistle. Then it is.
Man, we're bad at this.
We're not really going off on much, so I think we're doing fine for what we got.
Yeah.
All right. All right, back to the pig and whistle. We're going to assume you're back in your corner booth, carving your names.
Wait, is Stilgar
Tolgar,
stuck to the bench?
Hart, and
All right. How busy is it in the bar? Like, kind of. Does the bar?
ironically, it's exactly the same amount of people that there has been every other time. No, I mean, it pretty much, this establishment stays busy. It's never empty. I mean, you've been in here in the morning, in the evening, late at night. It's just a very, whether it's because of the time of year, being that it's festival, and there's so many people here from out of town and stuff, who knows? But it is pretty much packed.
All right. So I'm gonna get up and look at the table and the baby and be like, anyone want to come with?
To where?
Henri will go. So you looked at everybody and the baby too. Does anybody want to go?
The baby raises its hand. Mine's a pint.
All right, Kyla, you and me.
Okay.
I'm gonna move over here and sit down on one of the stools.
All right, over to the bar then. Okay. The bar itself has got quite a few individuals sitting next to, or sitting all the way around it. As soon as he finishes pouring a couple of other drinks, the tavern keeper finally comes wandering over to you and says, "All right, what can I get you?"
I know you're busy, but we do have a few questions if you don't mind.
Oh, I can talk while I serve. It's part of being a tavern keeper.
In that case, I'll try the ale.
Yes, two,
The
please.
grading. Yeah.
Fair enough.
We are investigating the tragedy at the stalls. The farmhand, Ralph, who unfortunately...
Aye, may you rest in peace.
we are trying to reconstruct his last hours. And I'm curious if he came into the tavern the night before he died. He was found dead.
He often used to pop in on the way home, but funny enough, he did not that night. Didn't think nothing of it until you pointed it out, but no, he did not actually.
Was there another place in town he would, like, go to the church? Is that something he was known to do?
Well, it's fairly customary approaching harvest in the summer and in the winter for farm workers and crop hands to seek blessing for their next day of work. Blessed as we are that winter has guided all of our farmers and crop hands as best they have over these last several years. Suspicious, or that's not the right word. What is the... Superstitious, that's the word. Superstitious a lot of those farmers are when it comes to dealing... I mean, they even have rituals on how to use the hoe and the swap. Yes, I know. Use the hoe, har har, very funny.
No, I mean, a ritual to use the farm equipment is what made me laugh more than the word itself.
Well, no, but as I said, it's something that they take very seriously.
Right,
And,
of course. So he was not in the tavern.
Not that night. And, never saw him after that. May he rest in peace.
But he was in the night before that, and maybe the night before the night before. Right.
I mean, he doesn't come in every night. But, he does quite often drop in for a, couple of pints of the amber nectar before going home to his wife and family.
Okay, well, thank you. We found it odd because he got off work a few hours after sundown, and his wife never saw him again. It just seems strange that, well, where would he go,
Well, apparently to the market. Well, that was in bad taste, so I didn't mean it like that.
Well, it's still funny. You have a good sense of humor, my friends.
Well, no, I wasn't trying to be funny. I shouldn't have said that, but,
I laughed at the word hoe, so we're even. Thank you again. I'm just gonna get off my stool.
Even, and I'm just gonna. Am I got my drink yet?
Yeah. He gives you your pint of grayling ale.
I'm going to do something a little nonchalant here, I guess, because it's customary when handed
six copper pieces, lads.
I thought it was 3.
Did
Did you give me the
got 2?
right?
Yeah.
Right. And then
I'll give him a silver. Thank you.
Appreciate the gratuity.
Well, thank you
for your help. Yeah.
Oh, any time. If you ever need to know anything else, just come back and ask.
I'll do, and then I'm going to take the drink, and basically as I go to drink, I'm going to do that thing where you smell it first to get the aroma, and as I do that, I'm going to shoot major side eye to the person in the cloak to see if I can tell.
Oh, this person over here?
Yeah, the mysterious person.
Basically, they're sitting. The hood is kind of like hanging low over their head, and they're kind of like holding a metal tankard of probably either ale or stout or porter, and they're just kind of nursing it, like they're just holding it with both hands, and they're just crouched over top of it, not really moving.
All right.
As you kind of go to leave, the innkeeper says, Did you all procure you secured your room for more than just last night? Did you?
We did.
Okay, just as well. Let's let you know there ain't no rooms free if not.
Oh, still no. That's unfortunate.
Oh, not this side of festival, I'm afraid. You're lucky to have the one room that you have.
Yes, there's 5 of us though, and one of them's quite gigantic.
Stop your whining.
Well, I understand. I mean, it is you do have the suite, so it does have the 2 beds, of course.
Up your whining. I slept on the grass last night.
The poor lad fancies himself a prince.
There's no need to sleep on the grass. At the very least, you can sleep in the stable. At least there's some warm hay.
Yes, and horses.
Oh, the ground can still get quite cold this time of year, mid-March.
Well, I'll keep that in mind. Thank you.
Oh, not at all.
I'm just gonna look at Kyla as I return to the sit down.
All right.
So he wasn't here the night he died.
That abnormal?
That to the barkeep it was.
Abnormal.
Yes.
Not so much that he's here every night, but it did seem strange to him that he wasn't the day he happened not to be around anymore at all.
Should we go interrupt the foreman?
Right. Emlyn, Lilith, and Thelonious. Give me a perception check. You would need a pretty high roll though. DC is about 20, but give me a roll.
Okay.
Oh,
so close.
So close. That's like that's like close enough, I think.
Yeah. Let's give him a +1 for
Putting my glasses on.
Hey, if only you had inspiration. If only anybody cared enough to have voted on anything to give you inspiration.
Come on, chat. You got to give us inspiration more often.
Well, of course, you have to be worthy of it, too. There is that. You have to be
That just means we
worthy.
haven't done anything special.
Great.
I like to think.
Togar's satin varnish. That's inspiration.
Yeah, inspiration for sitting in varnish.
I gave a baby lavender. I demand inspiration.
So,
Be better.
the only idea I have is that he frequented the church. But it does seem odd that they wouldn't even mention that he was there. Because the bartender did say that the farmhands are superstitious and do rituals to their farming equipment. Which makes me chuckle.
I beg your pardon?
Yes, they do rituals for their hoes. But not that hoe, the physical hoe.
Oh,
Which hoe?
As opposed to the fake ones. You know the kind.
I do happen to know the kind. Thank you very much.
I've worked with many.
It just... We asked those people questions about visitation, no? The weird religious people. Or did we just forget to?
I don't know.
I was kind of so worried about being in such a place I wasn't paying much attention.
We were very upfront about what we were doing there.
So you would think that, yeah, if they were upfront or helpful, they would say, well, yeah, he was here. The night of.
Are you accusing the
You know-
Knights of Wenta of foul play?
I did ask if there were any unusual deaths around this time of year every year. I mean, maybe there could be and nobody knows about it. Maybe it's usually a drifter, or perhaps the church is more involved.
Oh, so there's like an evil subsect of, like the council. There's an evil subsect of the church that does sacrifices to their goddess for a bountiful
Harvest.
I could get
Did say
behind
that
that.
it's
That seems
They have
When you say
quite-
get behind it,
quite a bountiful harvest every year. From every crop, mind you. Seems odd to me.
Soylent Green is people.
Sterling Green is.
It's people! People!
I actually really enjoy this theory
People.
because
Oh, sorry.
it means there's some evil sons and bitches, and that's quite exhilarating.
So, did we completely rule out examining the body?
No.
but we have to wait till nighttime.
Just want to make sure that's still on the table. It seems to me that is
We have
the
to go
most...
get bed sheets from our room.
That seems to me to be the most logical next step. I don't know if you're familiar with Occam's razor, but anyway.
What?
Who's Occam?
Occam's
What's
razor.
a razor?
It's nothing. Don't
Okay.
worry yourself about it. Just seems to me that might be the next step. Perhaps there's a clue or something that might lead us in a direction, as we do not have one at this moment.
Well, we can, and I'm going to lean in close and kind of lower my voice. Kyla, instead of the fish market stalking these strange dwarf people, you, handle a break into the church and see if you can find anything about ritual sacrifices.
I mean,
You want
Here's what
me
you
to
did.
break into a church?
Should
here's
probably
the
catch
issue I
fire.
have with all this is, if it is the church, what does that have to do with DeWint?
Well, maybe
That's
DeWint's...
the problem. It would be ruling him out.
And the issue here is, we're looking for him, and we're in a place where there's so many strange people coming in and going out that, well, I don't know
Running
if
out of
we'll
time.
ever... I don't know if anyone who's seen him would think anything of it. People are looking at us like we're a regular sight, and we have a mountain walking alongside us.
Well, again, it's a festival, a lot of strange folk. I mean, you've got two dancing halflings that have been
They're
like...
still at it!
Oh, they absolutely are, and they are still physically like joined at the hip.
Yeah.
I mean, they're arm in arm and still, you know. Hey!
It's a homunculus. They're responsible. Kill them.
They know where he went.
Have we asked, inquired these fine jovial fellows if they've seen or know anything?
Last time I tried, they saluted and continued. I was hoping to catch him in an off moment.
I don't know if they have off moments.
We might have to cause an off moment with these two. Should we want to talk to them?
Well, I'm still content with ignoring the little people and just going to the graveyard as Thelonious reminded us.
Okay.
If you don't want to with the church, that's fine. I mean,
So-
how long until it's night, Gore?
A few hours. I mean, it's like late afternoon, approaching early evening at this point. I mean, you've been wandering the streets, talking to people, visiting all over the town, investigating. So it's been a fairly long day, but you've still got a couple of hours of daylight left.
So, with the glow of the map and my mind's eye, I just assumed that the windows on the church were stained.
They were.
Yeah. So you'd actually have to break in.
I mean, I'm not opposed to desecrating a church. It's just I don't think we'll be welcome here after that.
Yeah, and again, we're trying not to do anything too heinous.
Well, that
At least not yet.
If you want to get into the church undetected, I could have a few things that could aid in quite a task.
We could just pretend he's sick
yes,
and
needs a good beer.
is dying for a good drink, yeah.
My friend is too sober. Please, can you help me?
Gladly, child.
I mean,
please drink. Wenda.
I mean, maybe they are really, really drunk late at night and passed out.
Oh, one can hope.
I mean, if anything, I'm not going to the graveyard until after midnight at the earliest, so...
Ghost hour, spooks hour.
So I'm going to go upstairs to the room we have and enjoy one of the beds. Don't worry, my horns won't tear it up too much.
Okay, so you want to go and get a few hours sleep. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what they all say.
So does anybody else wish to do anything before late at night when you are going to attempt to go grave robbing, or...
I guess I'm gonna go give the baby back before it gets dark.
All right.
I think I'll go back to the room and practice my singing.
Just to ensure that a certain warlock does not get too much sleep.
I would totally kill you, by the way.
Okay. All right. Well, you return.
Oh, goatee boy.
So you just so Lilith is just going to head down the street and take the baby back.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Emlyn goes to sleep. What are the other three doing?
I'm gonna go talk to that shrouded character.
Okay, ballsy McBalls. Okay.
No one
I'm
else
gonna
is
watch
doing
you
it.
talk to that shrouded character.
Yeah.
Do you remember the last
I
time this
think what'll
happened?
happen is me and Tolgar are going to, after seeing that you're going to do that, just switch sides and just go, "Whoa,
Yeah.
what's going on over there?"
All right. Okay. So yeah. So you're gonna head over and talk to said individual.
Yep.
Go at it, and of course, if Tolgar and Kylo do want to switch places so they can get a better view, that's fine.
Okay, so I'm gonna walk over.
Okay.
And I'm going to excuse me, try to get his or her attention.
Okay. Well, as soon as you walk over, the rather gruff-looking dwarf, he's chewing on a large piece of bread. Just nods at you.
Yes, hello. Excuse me. You there? Hello?
He goes, and he's kind of points his thumb at the other person.
Yes, yes.
Alright, he's like, oh, sorry, I thought you were talking to me.
Oh, no, I can see why you would possibly think that.
Some more of that good fish, if you don't mind, barkeep. That's delicious.
To ask your friend a question.
Alright, so you see the hood kind of tilts in your direction, but deliberately does not raise up so you can get any glimpse of the face. The hands, you notice, have got like thick leather black gloves on. So you're still none the wiser. It could be absolutely anybody or anything humanoid under there.
So, okay.
It's two goblins
I'm
stacked
going
on
for
each
it.
other.
Yes! Oh my god, I hope it is. So
You
I'm
also
going to-
notice that you seem to have gained the attention of the buxom lass that's sitting to your left as well.
Okay.
She's kind of put her drink down and is just kind of like...
Okay, so... fuck it. I'm gonna go, yes, and I'm gonna sneeze and cast Prestidigitation to try to knock the hood off of the person. To have it slide
okay.
back.
Pop Prestidig... that spell into the chat. No, go ahead.
Yes.
Prestidigitation.
Regretful irritation.
There we go.
Good spell.
There you go. Alright. A puff of wind, faint musical notes.
Like, I just sneezed really hard and it just so happened to go in that direction and...
Instantly clean or soil an object no longer than fire. Yeah, I think you could do that with that. No problem. Alright, okay. So, yeah, you do so, and the hood's like... pops up. Almost instantly as soon as it happens, the hands go reach like straight up to grab it and like pull it back over. What you see before that happens is a woman. And that's it. That's all I'm gonna say. No, she's got what looks like long, straight black hair. You definitely noticed that there were like little points poking out of the black hair where her ears were. So your guesstimation is that she is possibly elven, or at the very least half elven. She was very attractive, although she did have what appeared to be an old scar that kind of ran from the corner of her eye across to her ear. Again, as the hood come up, the hair kind of flowed back as well, revealing the ear points and that scar momentarily. And then she, like, yanks it back down. Okay.
Excuse me, it's a dreadful cold coming in.
As soon as that happens, you kind of notice that the three of them are all in a bit of a fluster. Like, the dwarf stops stuffing his face. The girl that was staring at you, her eyes suddenly cut across to their friends. And with that, she kind of like leaps off of her stool and goes over to the corner almost instinctively. And you notice her like reaffixing her hood and pulling it down solidly to make sure that it's in place.
I'm going to slowly kind of move over.
There's nothing to worry. I don't believe it's contagious. Just a bit of a tickle in the nose. No need to panic. No need to run.
As soon as you do that, the dwarf steps down off of his stool and kind of like bulges up his chest a little bit, and he goes, "I don't think my friend is in a talking mood."
Oh, right. I am going to cast Suggestion on him.
Okay.
I'll pop that up there.
All right.
And say, because I think it has to be something.
I believe your friend does want to talk to me. We are very old acquaintances, and we have a lot of catching up to do. So you're going to let me speak.
All right. So he has a willpower save to make, and he needs a 14 against Thelonious. And he does. And he kind of looks at you, and without saying anything, he just kind of sidesteps although he's not entirely sure why, and you see the weird confusion on his face as he does so. As soon as that happens, the girl looks really surprised that he just did that, and she leaps down and kind of reaches forward and grabs hold of the edge of your robe. And she says, no, now is not a good time. Trust me.
I stand up.
And as she says that, you notice her left hand has kind of gone to her dagger in her belt. She goes, trust me, it's not. And then she kind of like lets go of it and then lets go of you.
Okay. I would turn to her and say, believe me, if I mean no one any harm, if I did, it would have befallen all of you already. I'm trying just to have a conversation with someone who could possibly lead us in the right direction of a quandary we're trying to solve, and it just seems she may be the key to the whole puzzle. That is it.
Well, she's not.
How could you be so sure? You seem so sure of this. What makes you say that?
As well, we've traveled together for at least 4 moons. Anything that she would know, I would know. So why don't you ask me?
Oh, of course. When did you get into town?
3 days ago.
So then you are possibly aware of the heinous crime that occurred in the marketplace recently.
Right. So as you're having that discussion, you notice that the girl wearing the robes crouches down and she kind of leaps up, grabs hold of the balcony banister and pulls herself up and plops up onto the balcony and then makes a very quick exit up the stairs. Like, boom, 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 boom,
I'm
boom,
gonna
boom,
start going that way.
I was just going to say, I'm going to kind of turn and look, shoot a glance back at Kyla and Tolgar to kind of give them a little signal, seeing that I saw that they witnessed that.
Okay.
Yep, going.
Yeah. Kyla, let's go. Okay.
So I'm going to then swoop around the bar to this side.
Okay.
And say, if you're going to get into this long conversation, perhaps I can buy you another round of drinks. On me, whatever you like.
Alright, give me a persuasion check, please.
Okay.
Let's see how persuasive you are in drawing them away. Not very. Okay.
Okay.
So, yeah, she kind of naturally has followed your, kind of followed your eyes and your gaze and your control. But the dwarf, he's kind of looking very flummoxed as to why he did what he did. And seems a little bit out of sorts. Okay, seeing that Tolgar is marching across the middle of the floor, his eyes will obviously see such a massive monstrosity. So yeah, his eyes have locked onto Tolgar, and his eyebrows have gone, and he's now staring towards Tolgar and Kyla.
Okay, do I see them staring at us?
As soon as you get around the corner past all these people, you'll absolutely see him, because he's kind of stepped out into the corridor, or like into the open area that goes round beside the bar in front of the balcony.
I'm gonna go, Kyla, improvise, and I'm gonna open my arms for her to jump in.
I'm just gonna grab the bottle really quick and like jump in the arms and just be like, and that's what I told him. Not for under $1 million.
Okay, so need to get you to bed.
Let me just move. I'm gonna do something here. Hang on.
Okay.
There you go. All right. So just move you to the front. Okay. All right. So you're gonna try to carry him upstairs to.
I'm carrying her. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
You're drunk as a squirrel.
Drunk as a squirrel, because that's a thing. Alright.
Literally the first thing No, the first thing that came to my head was a nut, but that's not a thing.
Alright.
This is bad.
Okay.
But you know who likes nuts? Squirrels.
Squirrels. I know. I
Alright.
get the connection.
The dwarf is kind of like watching you and scowling at you, but he does not move to intercept you under those circumstances.
It's like, it says it's dry, but I've never been wetter. Wetter.
And I'm gonna
You're
say,
embarrassing me.
Alright, so you guys are gonna head upstairs.
okay, so they got
Yeah.
past. Okay, cool.
Yep. You see the dwarf kind of scowling at them as they make their way up the stairs.
Some people just can't hold their liquor, huh? Tisk tick.
With that, the dwarf kind of turns and comes and sits back on his chair, and he's like, you see him kind of like pick the fish up by the tail and bite the crunchy head off of the fish, and then he looks at you and goes, I'm watching you, old man.
Oh, just nothing to watch. Just this old bag of bones wanting to get some company in a town so large one can feel lonely.
Okay. So she says, well, what do you want to know? You say that you think she might be instrumental in something?
Well, it just seems we have been in here a few times, and she keeps her very sharp eyes open for things. I just wanted to know, do you have as good of a sight as an elf possibly would?
Okay, she kind of looks at the dwarf, and he kind of just squints his eyes. And she says, we're here for the festival tomorrow. Nothing more. And then we'll be leaving.
What brings you to the festival?
What brings you to the festival? Fun,
I've told you.
games, entertainment, gaiety?
So pretty much
Pretty much what everybody else comes here for. It's a once-a-year festival.
So my purpose at this point is just going to be keeping them talking and busy while
Okay.
Kyla and Tolgar go upstairs.
Alright. So yeah, Kyla, Tolgar, you get to the top landing. And of course there's, a long hallway with rooms to the left, rooms to the right, and then it curves at the end and goes around and then comes back up on itself. So, there's a lot of rooms here. And then there's a third story that goes up as well.
So we don't see anybody dashing around.
By the time you would have gotten up and across the bar, bearing in mind that she was already on the balcony, there's a fair to middling chance that she's probably in whichever room belongs to her at this point.
Did I hear footsteps going up the third one as we were going up?
As you're rushing up there, give me a perception check, Tolgar.
May I do that as well?
Sure.
It's not gonna be pretty.
Ooh.
Kyla, not really. Tolgar, you definitely did hear, as you were kind of getting onto the second story, you definitely could hear echoey footsteps in the distance going up onto the third floor.
Okay, and where is our room at? Are we?
You are on the third floor, all the way to the very end, because you guys have the suite. It's like the big end room that occupies basically where.
So I just say, okay, gotcha. Third floor, let's go.
Okay.
I'm gonna drop her. I'm gonna drop her.
Okay. And you continue to scurry up to the third floor. Okay.
Can I see anything from the ground?
Yes, dirt and mud, and soiled footprints. Right, yeah. You rush up there, get to the top, but again, by the time you do get up there, there is no sign. But at least you are fairly sure that she is in one of these dozen or so rooms on the top floor. And one of them isn't obviously hers, because it's yours. So you've got about six. Yeah, you got 12 rooms to choose from. Okay. Meanwhile, so Spook, you take the baby, you drop it off. Are you coming straight back to the tavern after that?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll come back.
All right. Give me a perception check, if you will, on your way back. Ten. Okay. Right. You don't see or hear anything, but you know that weird feeling that when you kind of like sometimes just feel like eyes are on you, you're being watched or something. You kind of, as you get close to the tavern, you kind of have this weird feeling, like almost like the kind of feeling that you get when you're in a tavern and all the lecherous drunks, you know, they're staring at you, even though you can't see it. They're all looking at you, and you know that they're probably thinking things that they shouldn't think, and you've just grown to kind of like block it out. But you get this weird kind of feeling that there are lots and lots of pairs of eyes watching you as you get back to the inn. All right, as you kind of come back in, you can, or as you open the door, at the very least, glance around. Nobody's at your table, and you can see the only person that you can recognize out of the group that's in here is Thelonious over at the bar having a conversation with some buxom woman and a gruff-looking dwarf.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So, yeah, it's kind of like you open the door and you kind of like get this feeling. You kind of look around behind you and down the street, but you can't see anything. There's people all walking around still, up and down the streets, but something just doesn't fit right. You just feel kind of uneasy. You almost feel kind of dirty. Than usual.
I was waiting for that.
Well, considering who it is, it needed saying.
I guess that I would stop and not come back into the tavern.
Okay.
I want to know who's watching me, so I'm gonna just kind of stop and
kind of look around.
Yeah, just kind of move to the side, like I'm thinking about going in, but
kind of dawdle and... Alright, yeah. Okay, so yeah, you do that. Give it a few minutes. But you just... Nothing stands out. I mean, maybe it's some of these random people walking by. Who knows? But hell, they could be anybody. You don't know. But there was definitely this feeling of, you know, awkwardness for a bit.
I guess I'm gonna enter and I'm just gonna go sit at my table.
Okay.
Not knowing where everybody went. Well, I know that Emlyn went upstairs to sleep, but...
Yeah. I mean, then you can see Thelonious over at the bar, deep in conversation. Okay, so the general discussion, the general concept of your conversation with these people, what's the theme?
For me?
Yeah.
For Thelonious?
I mean, is there any... I mean, are you literally just making pointless small talk to keep them occupied, or...
No, I'd be trying to... I mean, I would bring up, like, if they know anything, you know, kind of what we've been asking everybody at this point. I mean,
Okay, go ahead.
That, you know... Okay, so you have heard of the murder that took place in the market?
We hadn't heard about it until yesterday.
Do you, any thoughts first come to mind? Anything?
Nope. It's a festival.
Nothing.
A lot of strange folk coming by. It's not uncommon for people to get murdered in towns.
But did you hear about the cause of death?
Something about his eyeball being plucked out? Maybe he was shot in the eye with a crossbow, who knows? And the person pulled the bolt back.
No, it was quite worse than that. It was as though his brain from the inside of his skull was sucked out through the eye socket itself.
Maybe the crossbow bolt got stuck in his brain and that came out with the bolt.
That's not quite how anatomy works. I digress. Nothing about that sounds familiar, or have you heard of anything like this before? See, this is why I wanted to talk to your friend. I feel like she would have more insight than the
She
two
doesn't.
of you.
I can assure you she doesn't. She's lived a very sheltered and quiet life. She doesn't know about any of these sort of things. And it will
So you
probably
two-
just upset her and disturb her if you had such a conversation.
So you two are her bodyguards, then?
After a fashion. Aye, after a fashion.
Please, indulge me. What do you mean?
What we just said. We are not officially her bodyguards, but we are performing the duties that such a person would perform.
So what would she need two very abled bodyguards for, exactly?
Oh. Well, let's just say to stop things happening like what just happened, to stop people bothering her or making her feel awkward and uneasy.
But why her? Who is she?
Well, if you don't know, then it doesn't matter, does it?
Well, I don't know, so inform me. Help me learn.
There are a lot of people here in the tavern you could get to know. Why don't you get to know them? It's far less dangerous. After all,
Because I want
they don't
to know
have
the one-
bodyguards that are likely to smash your skull in if you keep asking too many questions.
Yes, but the lot of them, as I turn around and wave, boring. They don't tickle my fancy as much as a shrouded figure with two bodyguards. Wouldn't you agree?
So somebody wears a cloaked hood to hide the fact that they've got an unpleasant scar, and that warrants their attention. No wonder she's so self-conscious. Why don't you just point at her and scream, "Freak! Freak!" as she walks through the streets?
Well, really, the first thing I wanted to talk to her about is where she got her robes from. I'm quite a fan, actually. I like that dark,
I don't know.
mysterious
She's had
look.
them as long as we've known her.
How did she get the scar on her face?
Don't know that either. Well, I do, but I'm not going to tell you.
Oh, come on, I buy you another drink.
No, I think I've had quite enough to drink this evening. I might have some work to do shortly.
What are you insinuating, friend? We're having just a normal
I'm not
conversation.
insinuating anything. All I'm saying is, she seems to be a bit out of sorts. And, you seem to possibly have contributed towards that. I think a diplomatic individual would recognize that they might have overstepped their welcome and go tend to their own business instead of continuing to prod their nose in places that it clearly isn't welcome.
I'm just trying again. My ultimate goal here is not to make the child. Is it? Is she young?
They both just kind of look at each other. He goes, I think we've said more than enough. We appreciate the drink. Now, if you don't mind, we're going to check on her to make sure she's okay.
Yes. Of course. I'm feeling rather tired myself. I think I too will retire to my room upstairs. And
Okay, now, that conversation was going on for a little while. So prior to that, okay, so Tolgar and Kyla, you're upstairs. So what do you guys want to do? You know that there are a dozen rooms to the left and right of you, with your room being at the far end of the hallway, that in theory she could be in.
And we're at the top now. Are there windows up here?
Not
of the
in the
rooms?
corridor. All the windows would be out, basically would be in the rooms overlooking either side of the tavern.
What do we do?
Well, later we can do a housekeeping ruse. But until then, walk lightly and listen. And I'm going to start, I guess on whichever side I'd be walking towards the room, just kind of listening alongside the doors as I pass.
Okay.
See if I can hear kind of what's going on in each one.
Yeah, I mean, several of the rooms seem to have activities going on in them. At least 3 or 4 of them.
Housekeeping ruse.
Most of them are quiet, but again, you know, the majority of people are probably downstairs in the tavern. You don't hear anything that would necessarily indicate of this quiet and solemn person being in a room.
Right. Maybe
Perhaps we can get Emlyn. He can do things and see through doors.
Well, that would have been good to mention.
I've just been here this entire time. I'm sleeping.
Yep. As Adam Sandler would have said.
Yeah.
Information that
We're gonna go grab him.
for yesterday. Okay, so you go to the end of the hall and.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of leave the door cracked and kind of peek out of it to see if there's anyone running
so
out.
Yeah, Emlyn is, cozied up on one of the beds, trying to get to sleep.
You're just gonna hear a voice in the darkness? What?
Get up! Get up here!
Is it time? I don't feel like it's past.
Get up!
I'm gonna get up and look at the door.
Okay. Now you can see Kyla's over there peering out the crack of the door.
We have a better idea than the housekeeping ruse.
Housekeeping? What?
It's unfortunately Emlyn was not part of that conversation, so I think he's fairly oblivious as to what you're talking about.
Yes. What?
Kyla, explain.
That bizarre hooded fellow jumped up a flight of stairs and then climbed the rest of the way to the same floor as we're on. And we're quite fond of maybe spotting which room she's in. I hear you can see through doors. Do you use like the horns?
Well, no, it's not quite that. I mean, I mean, yes, Tolgar saw me do this years ago. Last time I really needed to. I mean, at the tribe, it's in a cave. But I can, knowing more or less what I need to spy upon, see or hear.
Hurry.
Right, I'll get dressed.
Well, it doesn't. I need to know exactly, or generally, what I'm looking for or looking to listen to. I mean, I can't just send this thing around willy-nilly. It takes effort and time.
How clearly from the other side of the room would Tolgar and Kyle have been able to see the elven descent?
From your position, you probably wouldn't have.
I probably saw it.
I mean, if you look...
Evil eyes.
With my evil.
If where Tolgar was sitting... let me move out a little bit here. Not that far. Okay. So from Tolgar's position... oh, I don't want that. I mean... he might have got a glimpse. He probably noticed that she had black hair. But again, you've got two tables full of people, plus there was a dwarf standing in the way, and Thelonious. I would say, knowing that it was probably female and black hair was about all you probably could have told. You probably wouldn't have seen the subtle point through the hair and the scar from that distance. There's too many people that was blocking your particular view.
Basically, if we know what door you want me to look beyond, I will be able to conjure it up. And
how about every door?
Well, yeah, like I said, it's not like a dog that goes wherever I want it to. I kind of need to have a place in mind that it sets.
So you have a D12's chance of guessing the door.
Tolgar, you're a man of skill. You should find a better goat. And I'm just gonna keep looking out the door.
Okay. Right, about now, Thelonious is scuttling as quickly as his old bones will allow him. And you see Thelonious... So Thelonious, you get to the top of the stairs and rear into the hallway. And of course, you know that your room is on the very top. So once you get to the top, not knowing, whether they're in any of these rooms or whether they've gone to the top floor. What do you want to do?
Am I behind them at this point?
I'm going to say if you were literally kind of, oh, I'm quite tired, I'm going, and rushing towards the stairs, you probably got in front of them.
Okay.
So they're probably on the stairs behind you, but you're scuffling a little bit ahead of them. You're moving with haste. They're just moving under normal speed.
Okay, knowing that they're okay, and they can see down the whole hallway at this point.
Once they get to the top of the stairs, they will be able to. Yeah.
Okay, so they're not quite there yet. Okay. So I'm going to say I'm going to get to kind of stop a bit. Wait. My esteemed guests who are returning to their rooms for the evening, just to kind of shout a warning to them.
Loudly. Okay, yeah. So if he's doing that deliberately loudly enough, you guys will hear it echoing up the stairwell.
Yes. Yeah, I want to basically give them a warning that they're coming back. And again, at this point, it's just stalling for time to try to give them as much as possible.
All right, yeah. So you guys will hear Thelonious' voice bellowing that down the hall from the stairwell at the end of the hall.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we just found a way to he was with the others, right? If he's on his way up and we'll bring the others with him, we can watch and find out which door they are going to.
Is there people in this door?
No, there is a keyhole. I mean, you
Can we
could
look through the keyhole and watch? All right, so we're gonna close the door.
I'll be doing that.
Okay. Right, Thelonious. So once they catch up with you, they're like, "Mind yourself. You wouldn't want to trip and fall, would you?"
No, of course not. And I would be powerless to your brute strength, I'm sure. But I just wanted one apology from an old man to you two. I if I did overstep my boundaries, I get so excited with the festival coming up and everything. You know, it just it's hard.
Yes, understand.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate. From downstairs, it didn't seem like you were the understanding type and very quick to action. So I do.
At this point, again, I'm just
Yep.
going to try to give them.
You stall.
time
You
as
stall in
possible.
for another 20, 30 seconds, and they say, "Fine. Don't worry about it. What? Fine." And they kind of push past you at that point and continue on up the stairs. All right. So, what do you want to do? You following them, or are you going to go back downstairs?
I'm gonna let them go past me, and I'm gonna watch to see where they go.
Okay. So they walk about halfway down, and then they stop, and they deliberately look back. And when they see you standing there, the dwarf looks at the girl, and she's like, "Was there something else that we could do for you?"
No, I'm just gathering up the strength to make it the trek back down this very tall flight.
Oh, well, if you need a help down... And he takes two very deliberate steps in your direction and then stops with a grin on his face. And he says, "I think you understand where I'm going with this. Probably best if you head back downstairs now, Mr. Nosy."
And tell him it's okay.
Yes, of course.
I'm going to slowly back down the stairs, take a few steps down. Here I go! And make the noise like I'm going. Here I go down the stairs now!
Okay, yeah, they basically, they look at each other and lean against the wall, and the dwarf's like,
Oh, fine, I'm going. Jeez.
I'll go down the rest of the way.
Okay. So you guys peering through the keyhole and listening. You hear her say, "So do you think he's with him?" He goes, "I don't know." Says, "Mind you, I think we've done a good enough job of downplaying our hand." He goes, "Yes, but do you think the big one, if he's with them, do you think you can..." He goes, "Please, brute strength doesn't take up for the amount of years of experience that I have." He says, I've killed ogres twice as large as that fella. If it comes down to it and it has to be done, don't worry. Between the three of us, we'll get it done. And with that, they walk down 2 more doors, and they go to the... So from where you guys are looking out of your door, through your keyhole, ironically again, 3 doors down on the right-hand side, you see him... Doom, doom, doom. Psst, it's us! And then you hear a door latch open, and then the door cracks open, and the girl goes in first. The dwarf looks up and down the hallway, and then disappears inside, and then you hear the door boom as they lock it back behind him.
Well, we have our door.
We do. Show it to me. Let me see it.
Not yet. It's too soon.
No, well, this takes 10 minutes for me to, cast.
What
So
if they
we're...
open the door?
Well, I'm not saying I don't need to stand right in front of it. I just need to see it. I just need to know. So I'm gonna unlock our door, open it, and look at Kyla and Tolgar. Well, which one?
Third down, and I'm just gonna start walking down the hall. It's like I'm going to go fetch the idiot.
So I'm gonna stoop at the door and I'm gonna say to Tolgar, just leave it open before we, as I do it, and then close it when I'm in my mode.
What's the door? Which
Just
door?
and I'm gonna look.
That's
at the
entirely
door,
too complicated for Tolgar to understand.
and I'm gonna
Which door do
say,
I open, and
just
which one do I
this
close?
door, our door. Jesus, Tolgar, just stay there. And I'm gonna say Previsionist, and I'm gonna start casting Clairvoyance.
Previsionist. Where did you get that?
Latin for clairvoyance.
You know what's funny is that you actually come up with words when you cast them. I just say Thelonious Konch really quick every time.
So I am casting Clairvoyance door.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It has to be a location familiar to me, or a place that, or an obvious location that's unfamiliar, like behind a door.
Right.
So
Which, you obviously know there's a room behind the door, so that would be fine.
So I'm casting first the sight, so I can get a surveillance of the room itself, and who that cloaked figure is, and then I'm gonna flip it to hearing, so I could hear their conversation.
Okay, but that takes you 10 minutes to cast it, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to roll a d20. This is basically how many minutes they are going to be in the room before coming back out. So, because they had no intentions of staying in that room. This is more just a get her out of the way type deal. So, let's see.
No.
Well, this is
This is gonna be bad. It's
40. 30? A little better than 50.
Okay. So 10 minutes passes. You can cast your spell. They haven't come out yet.
So I'm looking first for like the first few actions, and then I'm gonna flip it immediately to hearing, so I can just listen.
Okay. So once you can see inside, you can see the hooded figure is sitting on the bed. The girl is kneeling down on the floor in front of her. And the dwarf is polishing what looks like a very ornate warhammer.
And is the cloaked girl still actually cloaked? Like
Yes.
fully?
Yep, can't see her.
Alright, so I'm gonna flip it to hearing.
Okay. So you flip it to hearing, and obviously you're going to come in mid-conversation. She says, "Take them. I mean, we don't know that they are working for them, but it does seem rather strange and suspicious, and I don't think we can stay here. We need to get out as quickly as possible. I know you wanted to do the festival tomorrow, but under the circumstances, I think it's better that we leave under cover of night." "I agree. We don't want to spill blood if we don't have to, and it'll bring a huge scene, of course, if the militia get involved. But, well, it'd be far better if we just discreetly hop on a boat and get across the lake and get out of here as fast as possible, without the commotion of the festival going on tomorrow. Most people, hopefully, will be getting an early night or be too drunk to care. We'll slip out under cover of darkness and make our retreat.
All right. For the rest of the duration, I'm gonna keep listening.
Okay.
Occasionally looking to see if they change locations, take off their clothes.
Listening into the conversation, I'm not gonna monologue for the next 7 minutes or whatever. But
yeah.
You get the gist that somebody or something is pursuing her, and that they are worried that those somebodies or some things have found her. And for what it sounds like, they are planning to escape and get out of here tonight now that they feel like they might have been compromised. Their intent, obviously, is to do so quietly without causing a scene, but various conversations come up where it's very obvious that they don't mind killing and murdering some people if they absolutely have to. I will point out, at no point does any mention of the murder that happened come up. So you don't get the impression from the conversation that they're having that they were really probably anything to do. It's not like we better get out of town before someone figures out we did this.
Right. Especially since Thelonious mentioned it to them and was asking questions. So if they were the guilty party,
Right. And then about 2 minutes before that duration ends, so we're actually 18 minutes is how long we're going to be in there, you hear him say, right, you stay in this room, keep the door locked, and we'll go downstairs and have another quick perusal of who's in the tavern, try to spot our marks, as it were. You know what to do if anybody tries to interfere. She goes, I think so. He goes, remember what we did back in Kanduin? So that we are aware. Well, make sure that you do that. And we'll only be 2 flights of stairs away. And, look, I know you don't like doing it. But if you have to, do what you have to do to survive. Okay.
So throughout all this, I probably would have been repeating what I was listening to because it's a concentration spell.
Yeah, you're basically mumbling it out, and then he said, and then she said, and then he said. Oh, he just said. Okay. Cool.
So everyone in the room heard it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Which is Solgar.
And Kyla, right?
No, because I had left to go catch up with.
Oh God, it's Tolgar only.
So basically, nobody else is aware of anything.
I'm aware.
Right, so Kyla, you were doing what? You were heading to catch up with Thelonious?
Yeah, I went to catch up with Thelonious.
All right, where did I throw you?
There's Lilith.
There you are. All right, okay. So yeah, basically, after about 14, 15 minutes of sitting there in the corner by yourself, eventually you will see Kyla and Thelonious come scurrying down the stairs. And you guys will see Lilith is sitting over in the corner, looking very Lilithy. Probably scowling with her... Oh, God. No.
That's not what that means!
Alright, yeah. So, while all that's going on upstairs, what do you guys want to do?
I'd basically be catching up with him probably when he gets to the bottom.
Yeah. So, did my ruse work? Did you find the hooded figure?
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. And?
She was in the room that the other two went into, and apparently the goat can see through doors.
Well, that's not a hard thing to do, but so all of the stalling that I did didn't help you at all.
It made it take longer to find out where they were and made us look more suspicious. If that's what you meant by help.
And it's not what I meant by help.
Just can't give you any credit, can she? She just can't do it. If you don't know Thelonious by now, I love it when he fishes for... It's always fishing for confirmation and compliments. It's so funny.
Okay, so what is the next step? Where's Tolgar? Is he going to bash the door in? And what do we want to do?
Well, until we know what they're doing behind the door, I think it would be fair to try and maintain maybe a low profile.
So then what are you doing down here? Why are you not up there?
To make sure you don't do anything stupid and to see if... Oh, she's back.
Yeah, and you can see, Lilith in the corner.
Frankly, your line of intelligence, as high as it is in the realms that it belongs, you don't seem to understand dwarves.
What are you talking about? I separated the girl from her bodyguards.
And that was very well done.
Yes. Then it was your part of the plan to work.
And we did our part, yeah.
Oh, you did? So, again, what did you do?
Our part.
Uh-huh.
And you did yours.
Yes.
And our part involved hiding behind a door, not making a scene, not getting entangled up with some folks whose identities and overall goals might not be known.
Yes.
You've seen how many bad people there are in the world. You're traveling with a lot of them.
Absolutely.
Maybe not annoy some.
So I will go start. I will talk about the next portion of the plan with people who perhaps have a better grasp of it then.
Maybe we should wait for them to arrive.
Of course. Yes. Absolutely.
I like your hat. And then I'm just gonna go.
I like your hat.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go sit down next to Lo.
I'm gonna kind of look at that. I'm fond of it as well, and look back and you're gone. I'm like, oh.
I'm just kind of staring intently at the door.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah.
Sorry, I didn't. I'm gonna scoot a little bit out of the way.
Right, yeah, it's obvious that she is, like, somewhat nervously keeps glancing directly at the front door.
Something happened to the baby.
Muted.
Yeah, I returned it to its mother.
Probably the worst thing you could have done to it, though.
You're not wrong.
You seem a little skittish.
I felt...
Sorry, are you staying put there, Thelonious, on purpose, or was you going over?
No, I just didn't know when I would be able to do this. So I'm gonna just slowly start walking back over to the table.
Okay,
I love Thelonious just shouting into
no,
the
I
room.
didn't know if you were deliberately standing at the bottom of the stairwell trying to eavesdrop what was going on upstairs or whatever. So that was the reason.
Old man cosplaying Gandalf standing in the middle of it and just going, "What's the plan?" Fly, you fools!
Yeah, no, I'll slowly meander back to the table and just kind of plop down.
Okay. All right.
Felt as though I were being watched.
That's kind of the opposite of well, isn't it?
Is everybody... hold on one second. DRC. Thank you.
Felt you were being watched by whom?
I don't know. I didn't see anyone. It was just a feeling.
While you were around town, somewhat specific.
I just went to Belano's house and back.
Kyla, would you perhaps be able to survey the environment to see if perhaps there are any inquiring eyes that are upon us?
Couldn't happen to have a pipe.
A pipe? Of course, I have it right here.
If I may.
Please be careful. It's made of the finest of ivories.
And I'm gonna hand it over.
Thank you.
And I'm gonna go out the door and smoke the pipe and basically survey.
Okay. All right. You can also then give me a perception check. You will need to do pretty well, but go ahead.
You can do this.
Come on, Kyla.
Get your first 20. 20.
Come on.
That's
Yeah,
not
it
a 20.
wasn't
17.
It is.
All right.
My pipe gives +8 to perception, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, it does? Damn, I
fanta-
didn't know
yeah,
that.
it's the fantastic item. What is it? Pipe of perception, yeah?
Yes, pipe of perception. That's exactly it.
Usually
yeah,
when you
it's in,
smoke, when you
the tobacco-
smoke
it was in
those sort of
Xanathar's
things,
guide,
usually it
yeah.
lowers your perception, doesn't
Yeah.
it? I mean, isn't that the...
No. This is clairvoyant smoke. Or what's the
Okay.
Latin word for it?
All right. So yeah, by now, with all the time gone by, I mean, it's just starting to darken. The sun is just below the horizon, and it's kind of got that shadowy look around town. You don't see anything specific, but you're not. Maybe you just got the creeps because she told you were being watched, but you kind of now. Maybe I am being watched. I don't know. But you don't actually specifically see anything or anybody. Nobody peering out of windows. No one's kind of leaning behind buildings. No one out of trees or bushes. There's just probably because she said something about it. You know how that goes.
Right. I'm gonna go back inside. Probably still smoking the pipe a little bit.
Okay.
And I'm gonna.
Sorry, mate. 20 feet from the door. Sorry, I'm kidding.
And there would be regulation, of course. Safety first.
I'm gonna sit down and be like, well, I didn't see anything, but I rolled an 11, so.
Perhaps if we leave from now on, we should not travel in such a tight group.
Or maybe so openly as a bunch of strange folk.
I mean, maybe have someone look out to see if someone is following us.
Yes, just perhaps be more aware of our surroundings, you mean.
Something like that.
Just a quick question. Tolgar and Emlyn, are you wanting to beat these guys downstairs, or you want to let them go first?
I think the second we finish with the spell and knew everything, we'd want to tell everybody, so we'd probably go downstairs quickly.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
I'm gonna scurry.
Rush over yelling, they're coming!
I feel like scurry is
Can you see Tolgar scurrying? It's a word that doesn't really
I
fit,
kind of
does it?
picture
No, but I can picture Emlyn scurrying.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely a
Emlyn
scurrier.
scurries.
He's like a little
Everyone
rat
listen up.
scurrying around.
Emlyn has something to say.
So, I didn't get a better look at the girl.
Yes, we know.
No, even in the room, under the safety of them all. Anyway, we suspect they are from Cantwin. They are on the run from something that they believe has found them. So they plan to leave tonight under the cover of darkness. I'm guessing they think it's us? I don't know exactly what you guys were up to down here, but I wouldn't be surprised if they suspect us. They are not afraid to kill us.
Have you threatened them?
Well, no.
I was asleep, so I don't know.
Right? No.
Anyway,
Suspicious to them.
they are
Grouping us with whoever's actually chasing them.
the dwarves are going to come down here to survey the scene. The girl is going to stay in the room. I have a feeling there's obviously more to her than we know, but I have a feeling that she can do something that's quite dangerous that could cause either a loud enough noise or death and or harm, because the dwarf male specifically said, for survival, if you are alone, do your thing, and we will, even 2 floors down, hear it or know of it. So either it's a loud noise or something that would cause one of us to scream painfully, and die, like you, Thelonious,
Well,
But I say that in jest. But yes.
Yes, always in jest with you, yes.
unless who they're fleeing from is is DeWitt. I don't see where this has anything to do with us.
Right. If they're not fleeing from DeWitt themselves, well, they are fleeing because of us. They are not afraid to kill, and they plan to head east across the lake under the cover of night.
I mean, you definitely got the feeling that their intent was they weren't leaving tonight, but now that they're suspicious that somebody might be onto them, they're gonna bug out and get out of here.
What did they mention while they were here in the first place?
Well, the spell takes some time. I missed the first 10 minutes of their conversation.
And all I got from them was that they were here for the festival. Clearly it was something more than that, but that is all I was able to ascertain from the conversation.
But they have traveled far, because Kanduin, as we know, is far to the west. So
Kanduin?
Yes, that's where it sounds like they originated from. I mean, there was that dwarf district in Kanduin, remember, Lilith?
Didn't you think they could know of DeWitt? I mean, Kanduin wasn't that far from Corthane.
A few hundred miles south.
I mean, we could ignore them and let them go on their way.
No.
Well,
Why?
First
They don't
suspicious
seem
folk.
like they're in. I don't want to use the word cahoots, but that's the only thing. But they could possibly know something of him. I mean, we could just be straightforward with them.
I think getting them to realize that we are not who are pursuing them would be not a bad idea.
Yes, absolutely. Well, set the record straight.
I mean, of course, we can't mention that we know more than than what they've told you, Thelonious. We can't tell them anything about knowing that they're from Kanduin or...
Well, what if I was able to convince them I was able to deduce such a thing from their outward appearances or the way they speak or walk?
I'd personally love to see how that goes over.
Yes, it's just
You don't fear that would raise their suspicion levels higher to the fact that you might be lying? I mean, if we're trying to placate their suspicions, right?
I mean, if you want to do that, just allow me to remove myself from the group so they don't think I'm with you.
Why? Did they have something against you?
Well, no, I just don't want them to think that I'm with Thelonious if he tries such a strange tactic.
Okay.
I think she's basically saying that sounds to her like suicide and she doesn't want to die.
Well, I'm trying to think of something to do.
Well, we know that they're going to be down here in a minute, and the girl is still going to be in her room alone. But with possibly something that's dangerous to whoever, you know.
Well, they obviously don't want us approaching her, so let's not approach her. Let's approach them.
Did they say anything about their intent upon reaching us here?
Their intent to what, sorry?
Did they happen to mention any kind of intent upon maybe coming down the stairs? Frankly,
They're on their way.
Well, I mean, they're there. Good point.
Yeah, you're facing the other direction. Turn around, they're like, oh, there they are. They just came down the stairs because they weren't that far behind.
Perhaps we should try to talk to them away from all these people, like right outside where the bubble thing happened, you know.
Do you really think that trying to get them alone is going to go over well? They already are suspicious of us.
Hey there, now that it's dark, we can go in a back alley.
Right.
We mean you no harm. Just follow us down this dark, shady street here.
I don't know. I mean, just if we're going to talk about who we are pursuing, you're right, Lilith. I don't think they have anything necessarily to do with it themselves. That's playing our cards too, right? I mean,
they seem well traveled, from everything I've heard and seen.
They're willing to kill,
which means they'd fit right in. I don't see anything wrong with trying to work with them, other than
All of our tactics so far have been a bit
Underhanded.
yes.
Some people hear more than others, I would say.
I'm gonna stare at him as he says that.
Yes, what did I miss exactly? Because I was trying to sleep, and there seems to have been more going on. With you guys barbing each other.
We're just having good fun. Nothing more. Right, Kyla?
Simply admiring each other's talents here.
Yes, admiring each other's talents, yes.
Yes, this uncanny gift for rambling on.
Thank you.
Okay, it's about now when two guards come in through the door, and they're like, start perusing, looking for somebody, and then finally they're like, and they make their way over to this table here.
Is the guy who was chopping the wood at that table the other night, the previous night?
No.
Okay. I was like, are these the same guards who saw the bubble? And like, so I do look kind of alert at the two guards.
One of them is for sure. Yes, one of them is the guy with the pike. You do recognize because I mean you were able to see them very clearly as they stood there staring at the bubble. The one who's got a sword and carrying a shield with him was not. They go over, and you hear, might we have a word? And you see the woman look up and he goes, yes, but, it's rather delicate. Perhaps outside. And she goes, excuse me, would you? And they exit through the back door. Okay.
Kyla, speaking of talent,
You
Can I
feel
borrow
the
the
need
pipe
to smoke
again?
And I'm gonna hand you the pipe back.
Do you have more,
There's a window right here, just in case you hadn't seen that clearly.
Kyla with the pipe out the window, looking at the guards.
So close.
No, I'm just pointing out that there is a window there. There's a window here.
Don't mind me, darling. I'm just watching you.
Just having a smoke. Okay, so I'm gonna hand you the pipe.
just in case they question why you're out there.
right.
And I'm gonna take the pipe and just start smoking it right away, and then start walking out.
Okay, so you're gonna go to the door.
I'm gonna go right out the door, and then I'm gonna kind of like take a look around, like I'm confused. I'm gonna be like, "What is this talk about a bubble I'm hearing?"
Okay, as soon as you open the door, they're only like 10 foot from the door, and there's two kids sitting on a green bench to the left of you. When you say that about the bubble, one of the guards with the pipe kind of turns and looks at you, and the young lad, he looks and goes, "I saw it, miss! I saw it yesterday! It was right over there by the fence!"
Really? Could you take me over there and describe it, maybe?
With that, one of the guard kind of takes the woman by the hand. He goes, "Over here a little bit," and they kind of move further away towards the log pile.
Right. So I'm going to.
Yeah, the kid.
Like, basically.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I meant to move the kid. The kid's kind of. He goes over here and he goes, "It was right here, up against the fence. So like a big ice cream cone, or the top of one anyway, if the cone was buried in the ground."
I was here too. I'm gonna point to his friend.
Okay, it looks like it's a girl, probably a young teenage girl. She kind of looks up, and she goes, "I saw it. He's not lying. It
Do you mind showing me the
right
size?
there."
Could you, maybe two of you, walk around it, maybe show me the size, and I'm going to basically try and get them over there so I can eavesdrop behind me while they're trying to explain it.
All right. So you're basically kind of like, oh yeah, but your interest level is Okay, yeah. Give me a perception check then. If you're trying to eavesdrop the conversation, they're talking quietly, but definitely not. They're not whispering. So,
Come on, roll. Don't do that again. Oh.
Ooh!
That was close. Good roll, though,
yeah,
still.
look at it. Cock dice.
Ooh.
A 20. Okay, yeah. You can pretty much. You might miss the odd word here and there when the voice drops low, but for the most of it, you catch the gist. It would appear that her son got himself into some trouble stealing up at the farmhouse. And that they have interjected on her behalf and that they've got the kid down at the militia house. And that they are in the process of trying to make sure that the farmer, who you hear the name, is it Mr. Bethel, will let the matters, under the circumstances, will let things just let it slide and say nothing.
Okay.
Okay, so at that point, he says, the young scamp. Let's be off to the militia house then. You wait till I get my hands on him. And then they start heading southwards away from the doors to go around the side of the tavern and probably, as you heard, towards the militia house.
Well, that was mundane. Madly.
Why do you think absolutely everything should be something unbelievably important?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Come on, Gore. It's a fantasy game.
right, that's right. But here's the thing. Who says it isn't?
Yeah, no. It was Kyla's reaction, and I took down a lot of notes.
Okay.
One whole word. It says Bethel. I forgot what it means. So I'm going to continue to smoke the pipe and watch the kids mime a bubble.
That's a weird sentence.
Yeah, I smoke a pipe and watch kids mime bubbles.
Smoke my pipe and watch the children.
Alright, is that what you're going to do? Just stand there and watch the kids draw a big circle on the ground?
Basically, yeah.
Okay, they completely exaggerate it. Make it look probably considerably larger than it actually was, but, okay, and after that?
Oh, yeah, I'm just gonna be like, this won't do. I'm off to the Bubble Brigade to go explain the happenings here. Can't let bubbles happen like that. And I'm just gonna walk off.
Go and tell the bubble police. Okay.
So as Kyla's returning, you're going to hear mid-sentence Emlyn is basically saying, are we going to deal with the dwarves and the girl or the graveyard?
¿Por qué no los dos?
Or do we do... Wait, what was that?
Why not both?
So you want to split the party?
Yeah.
Of course, nothing bad ever happens when you do that.
All right, well, we know that I'm and Thelonious are going to, the body.
Yes, I think it's best if Thelonious has nothing more to do with dwarves.
So Tolgar,
happening?
Thelonious, and myself will go to the body, and you and Kyla will deal with that
I
situation.
don't know about that.
What do you mean?
And
Tolgar.
these two girls handle that dwarf.
I can handle a dwarf, trust me.
Glad she volunteered.
So you're leaving the digging to an old man and me.
Can we just do it in order? Together?
Yes,
Like-
why don't the body's not going anywhere? That isn't a time it's of the essence type thing.
So we're going to approach the dwarves now.
I believe we should stick together. Safety in numbers, as it were.
Do you really think approaching them as a group when they think that we're after them and with them is the best idea?
I don't necessarily mean in one giant aggressive group. Just we shouldn't leave in case we should help one another.
Well, there is an empty table right next to them. They can drag their stools and we can all sit together.
Yes, open a dialogue.
Yes.
Yes.
Clark's gonna need a dollar check.
Tolgar, you say interesting things sometimes, refrain. Because they can often be misconstrued as...
What should I say?
Well, Tolgar actually does have a dialogue already with the dwarf.
That's even worse.
Yeah, but it was
albeit man hugs.
I mean, yes, they did kind of butt heads. It might be...
But then we got along.
Alright. Well, so I'm going to get up and walk to this chair and just sit down.
Okay. Right, as soon as you do that, both of them are acknowledging the fact that you have done so as they turn in their stools to look at you.
So you're just going to see me gesture and point at the table.
I'm going to walk over to the dwarves, apparently
Right.
stepping on these people as I go.
Okay.
I'm gonna hand a pipe back to Thelonious and just be like, "It's a very earthy blend. You have good taste."
Much appreciated. One connoisseur to another.
Okay, so Lilith, you walk up to the dwarf, and he kind of he's staring. He's kind of like watching you approach. Now, what you guys will acknowledge, he came down with the Warhammer. You know it's a Warhammer because you saw it, Emlyn. But what it actually looks like is he has a Hessian sack that's kind of draped over something that he has got his arm resting on the top of. So by the shape of the bulge in the sack, Emlyn, you pretty much know what that is.
Oh, he has his weapon.
Sack indeed. Okay.
Okay.
As
Okay.
Tolgar approaches, I'm going to say to him, he has his weapon. It was a beautiful weapon. So, yes, we need to be delicate here.
Okay.
All right, so Lilith, you walk over to him.
Delicate.
Right, he kind of
Delicate.
watches you
Delicate.
approach.
I'm going to bow a little bit. I understand that my friend, and I'm going to gesture toward Thelonious,
Just like Jacob.
was a little not very tactful when he spoke with you earlier. I would like to apologize about that.
He says,
And in full disclosure, if you would join me and my friends over at this table, we would explain to you all the questions that he was asking you.
he says, And he kind of looks at the girl, and she kind of nods, and he gets up and approaches the table, carrying the Warhammer with him. But he doesn't take a seat. He just stands, and then he puts both of his hands on top of the Warhammer and kind of deliberately puts it around the curve so that it becomes definitively more Warhammery shaped. You notice that the woman goes up and stands on the balcony in the same position that the hooded lady was at before. Like she's leaning in and listening to the conversation, but wants to be close to the stairs in case she needs to react.
I'm gonna kind of motion that I take notice of what she's doing, and I'm gonna say, I understand you're trying to protect your friend. We're not going to approach your friend. We just want to be, again, in full disclosure and tell you about why we're asking so many questions. And I'm gonna kind of look over to Emlyn to see if he wants to start it off or.
I'm just going to gesture to you,
Right,
to
he's
Lilith.
still sitting there.
We're looking for a man named Porthan DeWitt.
Oh my god.
He used to be on a council at Corthan. Have you heard of him?
Not that I recall.
Well, he's not a good man, and he has company with him that's even more questionable. We're simply following a lead that led us to believe he might be here in this town. And with the murder that we heard about, we thought maybe he had something to do with it, and nobody is giving us any sort of leads whatsoever. We're getting no information, so please apologize to your friend for us, because I know that we're not the most inconspicuous people, and your friend also, her appearance kind of threw us, and we were wondering if you had any information. That is the only reason we approached.
Well, I don't know who this Porthan DeWint fellow is, that's for sure. But it seems to me that either A, we've got nothing to do with you and you've got nothing to do with us, or B, you're lying. And that this is all some elaborate scheme to try to get us to lower our guard, seeing as you're obviously aware that we have become very guarded.
Well, regardless, we're not going to advance on you. Of course, you have no reason to take my word for that, and I can understand if you're still on guard.
Well,
but those are our intentions.
If you don't bother us, then you won't get bothered, and that'll resolve itself. If you do bother us, well, you'll become very, very bothered yourselves.
And I assure you, not looking to be any more bothered than we already are.
It's just...
Big circle in my mind.
My friend Lilith here is 100% speaking the truth. We have been tracking this DeWint fellow, who has gone under different names and has the ability to look differently.
Well, how the hell would you ever find the man, then?
Well, that's just it. We are specifically looking for things that are kind of out of place.
For all you know, he could be that old woman over there. That old man by the fireplace.
He has a particular...
That's it, kill them all!
He has a particular style, and he's clearly on a mission, traveling out of Korthan, you see. So he's traveling from west to east, and his trajectory seems to suggest he's going to keep going eastwards. He was in Bamforth a few months ago, supposedly.
Well...
And some strange events happened at the mine up there, and that's where we came from. That was our first stop.
Horrendon's a very central place. You can go to a lot of places from Horrendon.
That's our headache, yeah?
We just are trying to find any sort of inkling of where he might have gone, if he even stopped here in the first place.
Well, we don't know anything about him. I can tell you that for nothing. And if you're telling the truth, well, seeing as we have no information to assist you, and you don't mean to bother us, then probably best if we just make a mutual accord and stop bothering each other.
I agree, but while you are traveling, try to stay clear of him. He's more trouble.
Believe me, there's plenty of trouble that he probably would best do well to avoid as well.
What?
Right then. Well, you enjoy your evening.
And you. Guys, I think we're done here.
And he kind of wanders around and goes up the stairs, and you see him like tap her on the shoulder and motions, and they both head upstairs.
With that, I'm going to lean over and say, well, if they do know anything about DeWitt and they're working with him, I think we best keep an eye on ourselves.
It's really a shame. I was hoping that I'd get to see him and Tolgar fight tomorrow.
Me too.
Oh, at the
I
festival.
was going to ask.
Okay. So, yeah, you've got... it's pretty much getting dark outside now. So if your next course of action is to head off to the graveyard, all you got to do is basically chill out for 2 or 3 more hours and then do that, unless there's anything else you want to do.
That's what we're doing.
Sounds about right.
Alrighty.
Snag a shovel on the way from the stables.
Okay. So you guys, you're going to go out the back door, grab a shovel and head out through the back way. Makes sense?
Try to be hidden, maybe not use the road.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, once you're out back on the streets of Horrendon, let's go ahead and move you there. Which way do you guys want to go to? What pathway do you want to take to get to the graveyard, if that's where you're going?
I like there's trees there, because that's easier to hide.
And you guys were kind of coming out of the bottom, so...
Go across the street, to the trees, and maybe through the back way. Well, no, that's the practice yard, right?
That's all this right here is all the militia house and the militia yard, yeah.
Is it in use?
There's nobody practicing at this time of night. No.
Okay.
And do we see anybody at the tents, like setting up for tomorrow?
Oh yeah, they're still. They're not so much setting up anymore, but there are little campfires there, and people are like just chilling out and resting after getting all the tents and stuff, and generally speaking, working all day.
And what?
They're,
how
they're,
dark? I
looks
mean,
like
it's
they're
dark.
testing the beer tent to make
It's
sure it
dark.
works.
So how light is it across the street to those other trees by the graveyard? Like,
It's pretty dark. I mean, first of all, obviously there's no street lamps. Most lights in these places are either torchlit or candle, so the light, even from any light that's even coming from the windows, isn't really that bright. But there's also no buildings anywhere around that area to shed any light. So,
and the moon is kind of obscure. Moonlight, or
it is. It's about a half. I mean, there's a little light. There's enough to see. But again, it wouldn't be too hard for people to slink in the darkness quietly away from prying eyes.
Let's slink.
So we're slinking to the trees to the graveyard to see if there's anyone in the graveyard.
Slinking, another good inland word.
Okay. All right. So
if we're
you
spotted,
guys
just act like we're headed to the tents or the church, depending.
You tell me.
Well, yeah, we'll head like we're going to the church, right?
Right.
So like you want to go like here?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So you're heading towards the tree line. Emlyn, now you actually see pretty darn well in the dark.
I have dark vision.
Okay.
20 feet.
As you start to get to where you're probably about 40 feet from the tree line, suddenly you notice movement. Probably nobody else notices it because to them, they're hidden.
I think I would.
Well, do you have vision in the dark? I know you can see a long way, but does that allow you to...
Dim? Hold on.
Yeah, pop it up for me. Let's see. Because you have your eagle eye totem thing.
Dim light doesn't...
Able to discern even fine details as though looking at someone no more than 100 feet away from you. Additionally, dim light doesn't impose disadvantage on your wisdom checks. Yeah, okay. In that case, I would say you probably can as well.
And is it close, like action close, or action, like is it far away?
What do you mean?
The movement. Like, is it like right at the tree line or in the tree
It is at the tree line. So that's when you suddenly notice movement. And at that point, you notice a lot of movement. Like, quite a few dark shapes suddenly start to shift around behind the trees and in the small bushes that make up that tree line. At that point, a gentleman steps out.
Ooh, that's not creepy at all.
All right. This particular individual he's wearing a long kind of cloak off the shoulder. He is bald-headed, although it appears... well, actually, from here, you're not going to get more than that much detail. So you can see a bald-headed man wearing a long flowing cloak, and he kind of like pushes his cloak back to reveal a large curved sword at his side, and he says, "Well, well, look who it is." And we'll leave it right there for this evening.
God damn it!
Who is it?
That's an appropriate stopping point. Hi there, I'm Gorbad. Welcome to the Orc's Nest. I'm the Dungeon Master here on How We Roll, and if you'd like to follow me personally, you can do so on Twitter @Gorbad. Check out thedmblog.com for all things Dungeon Master and Dungeons & Dragons related. And of course, you can follow me on twitch.tv/Gorbad. Also, guys, don't forget to keep up with all things How We Roll. Follow us on Twitter @HowWeRoll. Check out the website www.howweroll.com, and make sure you follow us on YouTube as well. Cheers, guys.
Hey guys, Dragon Spooker here for How We Roll. Thank you so much for watching tonight. For something a little different, please check out my channel, twitch.tv/thedragonspooker. For stream times, follow me on Twitter via @dragonspooker. See you next time.
Hi, I'm the Satchmo. I speak for the trees. Thank you for watching How We Roll. If you want to see some more of me, you can follow me on Twitch and Twitter @Satchmo. If not, I guess I'll just see you next episode. I love you. Take care.
What's up, you guys? It's the Snuggler here, and I am back for my second How We Roll campaign. I've been given some guidelines. One is to not name the character that I'm playing. Of course, probably gonna kill my character at some point. And two is to keep this as short as possible.
Jane is just so lazy.
So with that being said, so happy to be on my second campaign for How We Roll. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, you can do so @MaddieSweetTweet. That's pretty much all I use. So check you there. If not, I'm always here playing for you guys.
Shagget here. I play a character on How We Roll. I'm not going to tell you who I play because if they die, I'm going to have to redo it. Already done it once, never again. Follow me on Twitter at @aneb_convos, and I'll see you guys on How We Roll.
Hi, Jane here. You may have seen me in such films as Rise of the Fallen or Lyra vs. Legend. Thanks for watching! You can follow me on Twitter @JaneOnTwitch.
That's with a 0, not an O.
Anyway, I gotta go. The cats. Peace, suckers!